Crossover.
Oh, killer crossover.
Just crossover. It just crossed him over nastily.
Another victim to the crossovers. Cross him up and sit him down.
All right, the crossover is powered by Everlow Concrete Repair in Omaha at everlowconcrete.com. Hello, Tuesday, boys. Dinger Tuesday.
Oh, yeah. People forget.
Dongs and dingers.
Get your tickets in.
That'd be a great school lunch. Like on Tuesdays, you have dongs and dingers.
What
and
is
it's
it?
just
What's a dong?
What's it? Well, a ding dong is a
renamed
ho-ho.
pork and beans. It's
Isn't
dong
it-
and dingers.
Isn't a ding dong like one of those Miss Debbie things? Isn't that a thing?
First of all, it's Little Debbie, and it's a Hostess snack cake, yes.
Thank you. Okay.
What did you call it? What, Debbie?
Miss Debbie.
Miss Debbie.
Big Debbie?
I don't know. It's Debbie. Guys, you know me at this
Yeah,
point.
Big
Like
Debbie.
You come to Omaha, they got them big women.
Big Debbie, Little Debbie.
No,
I don't
on the
know. They
contrary,
all there.
actually. They're all tall, though. All these
frozen
women here
ding
are too
dongs
tall.
are pretty good.
Ding dongs, ho hos.
That's a vet move right there.
Yeah. You don't need
Which one's a ding dong?
Ding dongs are circular.
It looks like a hockey puck.
Ho-hos.
Yeah.
Then there's
Oh,
just
yeah. Nope. I don't like those.
Why?
Because they're cream filled.
You don't like the cream?
I don't.
You don't like a Longhorn donut?
You don't like a Boston cream donut? You're not a Dunkin' guy?
No, I would much rather just have a a donut.
I don't like cream cheese on your pizza.
Do you? Is it?
No,
just-
I definitely do not. That's
actually-
correct.
I
Yeah.
think you know that.
Yeah.
Is this like you don't like filling or you don't like cream
I
filling?
don't like cream.
Okay, so you're good with strawberry or like a raspberry filling.
I don't know. I don't like cream, and I don't really like chocolate that much either. So this is just both of those things.
Well, you don't
combined.
like chocolate, period?
Not
Or
really.
Are you not a cupcake guy?
Not really.
Okay.
I'm not a big chocolate guy.
Well, I mean, I like chocolate chip cookies. I mean, that's kind of it on my extent with chocolate. But I'll have a chocolate cupcake. Do you like cake?
Not really. It's got to be cold and ice cream.
You like an ice cream cake?
I like ice cream.
Just say that. You like ice cream.
I like ice cream.
You
cake.
like ice cream.
I'll eat a piece of cake in the right scenario.
So, what's your go-to like favorite dessert? Like Connor Happer, your last meal. You're on death row. You're about to die. What's your last dessert?
well, I'd probably just end at the meal if I was going to die. You know, I
Just
decline
what's your
dessert.
favorite dessert, Happer? We don't have to get all technical.
Thank you. You could have asked it that way. I would say
I was adding some context to it.
I
I
would,
was adding like, all right,
yeah, a couple scoops of cookies and cream ice cream.
you're so basic. All right, cool, man.
Cookies and
Great.
cream. That's base?
It's fine.
Have you ever?
What do you want me to
okay.
do? You want me to put crap all over it?
I'm just saying.
want me to put junk on it?
I was really excited. It's like you have what every 7-year-old likes to have.
But
cookies and
we
cream.
just got done establishing the fact that I don't really care for dessert that much, and you're asking me to put a whole bunch of crap on
I
top of
just
my
thought
ice
you were
cream.
more creative. You know, I mean, I listen to your radio show.
I'm
like,
not.
this
We
guy's
just
pretty
established
creative.
this.
This guy's not very creative when it comes to food.
Not when it comes to dessert.
Do you eat like a 2-year-old? Do you just eat? Do you just eat mac and cheese and hot dogs?
I do
Okay.
not.
Okay.
You ever put your finger in a donut to see if it's got filling in it?
Yeah. Are you like checking?
Like because if you
Like
go
a
to
public donut?
No.
well, like if you go to Hy-Vee, they don't necessarily tell you that is a cream or jelly filled donut.
You don't know what's going to enter your mouth once you bite on the donut.
Yeah, that's why I get the donuts with the holes in them. You know, the regular donut.
That
Do
way
you
I know
like
there's
donut
nothing hiding
holes?
in there.
Yeah, there's
Do you-
nothing in there.
Do you like donut holes?
Yeah, I like donut holes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I
Okay.
think donut holes are overrated.
Whoa.
There's really nothing there.
I
I
love
nothing. It's the whole. It's the
the
hole.
Yeah.
It's
It's
just,
a ball.
Yeah.
It's a dough ball that's tasty.
No, it's not tasty. It's the glaze that makes it tasty.
Well, that's the same thing with the donut, Gary.
The
It's
glaze
just
goes
bread.
on the glaze goes on the donut.
No,
hole.
a donut is not tasty. You don't. Do you eat a plain donut?
No,
Okay. Well, then is it just tasty because of the glaze? Then.
the glaze.
But the glaze
But
goes
that's
on the
what you
donut hole.
said. That was the same thing with the donut hole. That you didn't like donut holes because it was glazed.
Donut holes are a waste. Like the donut holes are.
Well, would
kids.
you rather throw them away because that's what you would do with them otherwise?
Mm.
You realize that the donut holes that they make are not what they take out of the hole, and they just
What? Are you kidding
not-
me? I had no clue.
Big
Sorry.
Pastry's been gaslighting us.
I'm sorry, but
I thought we were
I've
using the
ruined
whole
it for
dough.
everybody now.
Dude, I do like walking out to I go into a kitchen or like a Sunday after church thing or like a brunch or something like that.
Okay.
And there's the table with all the junk on it, with all the food on it. And one person has brought a big old pile of donut holes.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
a good
I
sign.
know exactly what you're talking
That's
about.
a good sign.
Because they got kids.
Yeah, because there's a bunch of bananas
Yeah.
and fruits and things. And I like the fruits. That's good.
There's
But
a lot of
donut holes?
crackers.
you just pick up the donut holes one by one.
There was someone who clearly came last time and was very disappointed with what the spread was and
That's right.
decided,
I'm taking
hey,
this into
I'm
my
going to
own
buy
hands.
the box of Joe
I got to fill this out.
and
a
the
little bit.
100 and the 2 boxes of the 50 donut holes, and I'm going to bring them here and I'm going to hijack the pineapple and strawberry and blueberry that we're supposed to be eating.
I'm taking this into my own hands. I like that.
I love a good charcuterie board though.
Me too.
Like I went to a very nice luncheon one time, and I met some very nice people and made some relationships. All I can think about in my head is how good that charcuterie board was. I mean, it was massive.
You can't fill up on the charcuterie board.
You
though.
definitely can.
I mean, but you can't because there's usually like a dinner afterwards.
I have no shame in filling up on the charcuterie board.
Okay.
I really don't think-
dinner and go full charcuterie.
I
Guy
really-
probably fills up on bread at Olive Garden.
Yeah, I did. Yes,
you
I
can't
do. That and
control
butter.
yourself.
No, not at the appetizers. Not at all. I'm a liability when it comes to the entree.
I would say that my biggest, like where I'm a liability the most in that
Yeah.
category is the chips and the queso.
Yeah.
Mm.
That'd get me
I
too.
can't really stop myself from eating the chips and the queso, and they bring it out disproportionately long before you get your
Yes,
food.
totally
that's
agree.
true.
Yep.
You know,
Totally
it's,
good.
That's true.
it's on the table right away. Like if it came out 3 minutes before my food came out, I think we'd all be having a great time.
Mhm.
But it comes out about 18 to 20 minutes,
I
and
know.
you're just sitting
And then
there
you're
with
Sometimes you get you go through the
only
whole bowl.
yourself, bad conversation, and chips and queso. What am I supposed to do?
I find myself
Eat the chips and queso. That's exactly right.
with the bread. My problem with the bread is that I'll just take the bread and I'll eat it, right? I'll just have the piece of bread. Then I'll be like, oh, let me put butter on the bread. So then I have a piece of bread with butter. Then I go, oh my God, let me put the olive oil on the plate, put a little Parmesan cheese, add some pepper, then now I'm scraping that off. And I mean the bread. So now I'm 3 pieces of bread in.
Yeah.
And I'm just dressing it different ways.
Yeah, there's no
it's
going back.
No, you're done.
Hey, question for you, young Matt. Have you
Yeah.
ever been to Round the Bend Steakhouse
No, I have not.
in Ashland?
It's a great experience.
It is.
It is.
It's an even better experience in June.
There's a festival.
Oh,
There is a festival.
Mm-hmm.
It is a popular festival that we can't attend because of the College World Series.
Oh, I bet we could get out there. We could sneak out there. Why
They
don't
have,
we
like,
have our
Friday and
little-
Saturday
why
nights.
don't we had a nice little meal after the World Series last year? Why don't we go out to Ashland?
It's a little bit of a drive.
It is. It's too far.
But it is a great steakhouse.
Maybe we can meet Round the Bend Steakhouse halfway.
But there is no. Hey,
they bring it to us.
Hey.
They pick up. They put it on wheels.
I was a little suspect until a radio station that I was working in a building. They were a big advertiser of the Testicle Festival.
Uh-huh.
And I don't mind eating testicles.
No, they're good.
Wait, that's what it's called. Oh, my bad.
They're called Rocky Mountain oysters.
Oh,
And they're not bad.
fair enough.
You ever had a Rocky Mountain oyster?
No, I don't even know what that is.
It's a ball.
Literally.
Mhm.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
I have no interest.
Oh, we're gonna have one this summer. It's gonna be awesome.
You're not going to force feed me animal balls, all right?
No, I'm not gonna shove it down your.
We just
gullet.
had a
when you
hazing
say it
incident.
like that. I mean,
No.
that is.
But I
no.
think that we're going
Absolutely
to
not.
peer pressure you into it, and
if
you will succumb.
if you run around with an animal ball in your hands and you start putting it in my face, tell me to eat an animal ball.
It's not even shaped like a ball.
Yeah, you wouldn't know.
It's like
what are you going to tell me it is then? Because if you hand me any food now from here on out, I'm going to think it's a testicle.
that's a good point. I'll tell you.
Like
it's
no matter
chicken.
like
It's,
if you ever come
it
up to
tastes
me,
like calamari.
It's
yeah,
chicken.
it could look like it could literally be a hot dog. I'm going to be like, it's probably a testicle. There's a testicle somewhere in here. It's
That's
probably
pretty
very
funny.
deep.
I wouldn't
We should
confuse a
start
hot dog
feeding
and a
that.
testicle. They're different.
Yeah, yes, I think so. But
Can't be confusing balls and wieners.
he's skeptical now. So
I don't trust you at all. I don't trust you as far as I could throw you.
interesting.
But Mike Leach could throw you over the line of scrimmage and into a first down. You're small enough to do that, right? Have you not seen this?
I don't know what you're talking about. No.
Mike Leach wanted to get little people in the backfield and throw them over the line of scrimmage in short yardage situations.
Wow, what a take! Mike Leach had some ideas.
Yeah.
What about
I believe in
one with
Canada-
Craig James too?
In Canada, they call it dwarf tossing,
Oh.
and they actually do it at a bar. So the midget wrestlers that I would hire in Fort Myers, in the offseason, they would go to Canada and make money in bars being tossed down either a bowling alley or a bar.
Hey,
find
let's
something.
can we backpedal here? The midget wrestlers you would hire in Fort Myers.
Midget wrestling was huge in minor league baseball.
So would you put the ring in the middle of the field,
Yeah.
and then you would just let them go at it?
I'd go to Walmart. I had to get 2 trash cans. Come back. Boom. I'd
Oh,
have
this was
little Cato from Kansas City, Missouri. Would be I would work with him,
Wow.
and then he would arrange the other wrestlers to show up.
Like Kato Kalin?
No, very
Okay.
much different. But the guy was he's a good looking guy.
Okay.
But he would we
Did he
did it for
stand on
like
your
5
couch?
years.
Was it a hardcore match? You needed trash cans?
Oh yeah, I wanted blood. Now it cost us like $500 more for blood.
Were you blading?
Huh?
Were they blading?
I have no idea.
Okay.
They said okay, we'll do it.
Was there one giant controlling all of the little people, or
No, they were all
Okay,
little.
okay.
And so he explained it to me. His name was Chris. He lives in Kansas City. He's now retired. He said, you know what? Because I said, what do I call you? Are you a little person? Are you a midget? And he goes,
Call me
"You can-"
Chris.
He goes, you can call me whatever you want. He goes, and people knock me for being a wrestler. He goes, but I'm not good enough to be a lawyer. But we have short people that are lawyers. I just happen to be a short people wrestler. And I'm like, okay, well, now that we've established that, let's talk about what's going to happen in the ring.
all right.
And
Still
then-
a little bit confusing.
And
though.
then he had a side business of a professional pillow fight league that was just women.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. And then he told me in the off
A
season,
little
him
horny
and his
guy.
crew, because he had a crew of 10 other midgets that would wrestle.
Uh-huh.
They went to Canada and they made like $20,000
Oh, Lord.
amongst all of them for being tossed down a bowling alley for dwarf bowling or dwarf. He said,
Times have changed,
yeah,
Gary.
that was about 15 years ago.
Yes.
Do you
Can't
think
do that
they've been
anymore?
affected by the tariffs?
Times have changed.
I think they were probably affected by this thing called
No,
canceled.
If you're gonna buy a little
midget?
person, you buy domestic. You buy an American.
Yeah. I think, see, on
We
that,
got him.
just
Hot
being-
take. Hot take.
You don't, the thing about it is,
Hot
you
take.
don't see midget wrestling as much anymore. And I
No.
don't know if that's because,
People don't know how to sell it
yeah,
because of the name.
yeah.
Well, what do we call 'em?
He was like, call me whatever you want. He goes, I am a midget.
Let me add something here. I
I'm
don't know
woman.
what the audience for it is or was,
Drunk
I,
people?
I would watch it.
but would you watch it with more intrigue than regular sized people?
At like the first glance, yes, I would be way more involved in it. And then after a while, they had little people wrestling at Barry's from my senior year.
Oh my God.
And that was a really big event. And we didn't
bet.
go,
Hell of
but
a
I
question.
wanted to go and take a
Now,
bump.
this
I
is
was like,
before the shutdown.
no, this was 2024.
Okay. Oh wow.
This was last year.
I read.
Yeah.
Right.
They had little people wrestling over there.
Yeah,
Barry's was gone for a little while.
No. This is Peak Berries.
Berries were serving way too many young mats.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
Nice. See, wrestling just in general doesn't really appeal to me, so neither does
I don't know.
dwarf wrestling.
Oh, I think you would enjoy it.
I think you enjoy little people wrestling.
I
If
know.
we got Hornswoggle to wrestle for you, oh my God, he's like the little people wrestler.
Apparently they're going to have an event at in Fort Calhoun.
Oh, we can
Uh,
get Grant Hansen to set us up with tickets. I'm sure he can hook us up.
coming up this summer
Okay.
like in a hotel or at
at a bar.
a bar in
Hell yeah.
Fort Calhoun.
At a bar. Yep, that's what it appears.
What bar?
The Longhorn Bar.
I'd like to be the manager for one of those fine little people on that night.
Oh, you walk down with a tennis racket, Josh.
Yeah.
By the way,
You're
got
a
some.
heel,
I'll be
you're
your
a
Jimmy
heel
Hart.
manager.
So John emails in
Hi, John.
on the testicles. He says, "I would go out to get you guys some of that during the College World Series, but I am not bringing them clear downtown.
Yeah, that's the problem.
I avoid that place like the plague during the College World Series."
That's the disconnect.
Yep. And
I will not
Ashland
be
to
eating
downtown.
testicles.
someone else said on the YouTube that they would be interested in potentially, or no, this was from Twitter. Platcat says, they have options. You get a full sack, a half sack, or one nut. It's literally what it says on their website.
Isn't one nut a half sack?
No, I mean like there are people that have
Okay.
Right. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Lance Armstrong.
does that
Yeah.
have you ever met
Full
somebody
sack, $20.
that they feel the need to tell you that they're just one ball?
No,
You never met somebody like
I
that?
never met
No.
that.
I
I never
No.
met that.
have.
You have?
I have, yeah.
How long had you been talking to them before they?
It was my
divulged
teammate's
this?
father in hockey.
Oh yeah, Brian's told me a lot about you. I'm Mr. Henderson. I have one testicle. Is that how it went?
He did not tell me he had one testicle. He just had one, and it
Oh,
was
okay.
known.
Oh, I thought
Yeah.
that's what we were talking about.
I think
No.
people who tell you.
I think you brag about it.
No, I didn't say anything because I
Oh,
wanted
brag.
Josh to
No,
go down that
I
path.
I don't
you-
think you say a word.
I think you identify yourself. Hey,
Yeah.
did you know I only?
I don't think you
have-
say.
You need to wear a T-shirt everywhere you go. I
No.
got one
No,
testicle.
I don't think you say anything. I don't think you say one word about it.
Maybe it's just me, but I have more people in my life that feel the need to tell me that if they have.
I
How
still
many
even,
people
like,
do you know that are telling
Well,
you on
there's
the
like-
regular
there are
they have
like
one
3
testicle?
people I know.
What's
that,
the situation
Really?
where you would even need like who?
Maybe a discussion about
who cares?
Hey,
about
maybe people have
starting
pride in
a
it. People-
family or something like that.
maybe someone's proud that they only have one testicle.
I guess that is possible. I guess
you
that-
gotta live with it. You know, it's gotta be you. Like that's who you are. You
Or
got
they
one
tell
ball.
you about one of the greatest comeback stories of all time is that you only have one ball, but you have kids.
I don't. Yeah,
like-
that seems normal though. That's very
is
possible.
it? I wouldn't know.
It's very possible.
I don't know.
very
I
possible.
don't have either.
What was that? What was that called, Josh?
A guy had a friend growing up
Somebody
whose
from around
name
the
was
bend?
Paul,
One ball, Paul.
who had that
Nice,
affliction.
Nice.
And yeah,
Uh,
that's what they call him.
Minister of Silly Walks writes in,
Monty
Chris,
Python.
Yeah.
your boy, is also a professional foosball player.
Whoa.
He has played several times in Lincoln at Foosmania, which is a place.
Sounds like the WrestleMania of foosball.
Yes.
Foosmania. Let's check this out.
This guy sounds like the most interesting man in the world.
Can we do?
No, not
Can we get him in?
Foodmania,
Can we get him?
Foosmania.
Do you still have his number, Gary?
Can we do an event like a show on the road?
Hey,
It's at the
Foosmania?
Garage
we
Bar and Grill.
Listen.
Well, at least it was in 2013 because I'm building up a very old HTML looking website here. Only 2 days until Nebraska Foosmania. Bo Pelini was still the coach at this point. At the Garage, improved time schedule, all events, blah, 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 blah. So you can follow the league right here. Foosmania 2012 total purse was $5,016.
Jeez.
5,016.
Wow.
$5,016. Big prize money, deep paybacks, low entry fees, lots of foos, and no conflicts. See you this weekend in Lincoln.
What about spinning? Are there rules?
You got it.
There's no bylaws.
Oh,
What
you
are the
can't-
rules
you
and
can't be-
regulations?
You
Is
can't
it
be
house
whipping
rules?
that thing in regulation foosball.
We got to get the Outrunners and Chris together. Can you imagine?
I don't think.
Mania.
I don't think the regular size wrestlers and the midget wrestlers get along.
I'd say
I
this,
don't know.
man,
Triple H and Hornswoggle got along a lot. They went to Little People's Court together.
I would suck at foosball at Foosmania. I would get my ass kicked at Foosmania. Have you ever tried to play foosball?
Yes, I've tried to play foosball.
Like with a player who knows what they're doing?
No.
Where they
No,
set
I
you
haven't.
up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They would smoke
Have you got
us.
hustled? Have you gotten hustled in foosball?
No,
did
I'm
you
like, I
play a
stepped at
guy
the table. I'm like, I bet I could handle this, you know?
and you could not handle it.
well, and it just happened to be against a person who kind of knew what they were doing.
yeah,
And I'm
I
like,
feel like that's a red flag if you play a guy who really knows what they're doing at foosball.
yeah, sure. But they are awesome at foosball.
Good for them, man.
It was great in that circumstance for
Good for
that
them. I
person.
can't fault them. I'm a pinball player, so you know we all have our niche. We all have our things. We all have that one game in the arcade we're really good at.
I cannot foos.
Can you air hockey?
Yeah, you good at air hockey? You look like you're good at
Bubble
air
hockey?
I don't know.
Gary
I
looks
would-
like Gary. You would be great at bubble hockey. I got a feeling you're quite incredible.
Played a
at it.
lot of bubble hockey. Went to Aladdin's Castle
Hell
playing
yeah.
bubble hockey when I was a kid.
Hockey.
Bubble
That's
hockey.
right.
Bubble
yeah.
hockey's awesome. I tried buying a bubble hockey thing, and it was way too expensive.
That's right. You
Yeah.
said that. Yeah.
Way too much. That was when we were trying to make our apartment a sports bar and grill.
A text from the 760.
Hi, 760.
What is wrong with this show?
A lot.
Great question. This has been
What?
uh,
Just talking testicles and Rocky Mountain oysters and foosball and
Little
midget
people,
wrestling.
yeah.
I will tell you that I cannot foos.
These are all sports.
There will be no foos. And I don't know where Foos Mania 2024 is, but we're going to find. Or
Do you like darts?
2025. I
What
guess.
if
You
we
a big dart guy?
No, I'm bad at it.
Okay.
I'm bad at.
Okay.
It's like throwing darts for me.
What if we
I mean, that's what
resurrected
it-
Foos Mania?
I think Foos Mania sponsored by 1620 would be great.
Yeah.
Dude, yes. How do we get our name
What if-
attached to
hey,
this?
Oh
what
my
if-
God.
what if we
I'll
do-
be
what if
in
we do the
stripes. I'll be the referee.
1620 games? Like we have darts.
Bar games?
Yeah, bar
Mhm.
games.
That'd be
The
great.
1620 bar Olympics.
What bar would not want to sponsor that?
Oh, that'd be fun.
That would be fun. I'll show up. I'll be the referee for all the events. I'll
so
come
I
in
also
with a
have
whistle and stripes.
Why? Because you're a ringer? You're too good? You think you're too good for? You think you're better
No,
than
I
me?
think it would be really funny if I was running around a bar,
Okay.
refereeing things, and then people can get mad at me and I can yell at them back. It would be really entertaining.
All right.
So Saturday, this is another great promotion. Ran into a group of young people who were doing a bar crawl on Masters Saturday.
Good for
Um,
them.
They had the
Always.
second annual bar golf where every bar is a new adventure. May the best drinker win. So par 3, you'd drink a beer or seltzer. Par 4, a mixed drink. Par 5, mixie and a shot. A birdie would be 2 times the par. Eagle would be rumple and par.
Oh my God.
Hole in one would be 2 times
Wait,
par and
so
shot.
this is following
So-
along with the Masters tournament?
No, you would go
No,
from bar to bar.
Oh, okay.
So their
I've-
penalties would be late for tee off,
Uh-huh.
plus 5, under par on a hole, plus 3, spilled drink, plus 4, bathroom within the first 3 holes, plus 4,
Oh.
strokes off, hydration, minus 2, shotgun, minus 3, buy a round, minus 5, bartender buys the shot, minus 5. So they went to Billy Frog's, Barry O's, T. Henry's, The Dub, Moe and Curly's, Annie's.
Wow.
So
That is a crawl.
I did this the last senior year, first semester, so winter. We did this with 10 bars in Lincoln. And we had the same thing. You had a regular drink you had to make, and then after that, if you did extra, you got like a better score. And so one of them was we went to a German beer house, and if you drank 1.5 liters of beer, you got an eagle. But the thing was that you couldn't go to the bathroom. So at the end of the half hour, we drank it, we got the eagle, and we were like dying
This sounds
to go to the
miserable.
bathroom.
They were dressed,
Um,
so the ladies and the guys were dressed like they were golfing.
Yeah.
And then one
Every time I-
girl, like
it's
they're all
fun.
like 20,
Every time I go
23,
downtown
24.
now, there's those people dressed weird. And
Hey, they're just having fun,
and-
all right?
and-
Why are you going downtown?
every time I go downtown,
You live out west. There's enough stuff out west
You have
to
a kid. Stay with
satisfy
your
you.
kid.
why are they all dressed like something
They're
every
having
time?
fun.
No,
All right? They're still in their
Just-
20s.
Just drink.
Every
Don't be the
party
old
doesn't
curmudgeon.
need a theme.
Yeah. Why can't drinking just be drinking?
Thank
Whatever
you.
happened to drinking? You know?
I think a lot of people are still drinking. I think it's just, one group just happens to be that
If
group.
your birthday party is Wizard of Oz themed or whatever, your friends suck.
Hey.
And you need something interesting to happen.
Thank you,
so,
Josh.
so in my bar golf, we did 9 holes, and then the 10th bar was the bar, which is the classic Lincoln. That's where you close the bar down. And if you went to the bar bathroom, if you went to the bathroom and, went number 2 at the bar, you automatically won the entire round of golf.
Really
which-
working on the honor system.
Yeah,
there.
wow.
Well, if you know about the bar bathroom, and it's the most disgusting place you could ever imagine in your entire life. Yeah.
Bad place.
It's a great time.
Bad place.
I didn't know you were outraged at downtown bars in Omaha.
I'm not outraged at the bars. I'm outraged at the people.
You're always outraged at people.
Yeah.
Well, people are
Are they
awful.
on a okay? So are we also talking about like bachelorette parties?
Are you against that too? Are you just against
They-
it?
I
we're,
will-
st-
I
we're
will
starting to get
allow
into
a sash
we're
and
starting to get into
crown.
bachelorette season
Yeah.
in Omaha.
Yeah.
All the
Crown's
people
okay.
from Des Moines and the outskirts, they drive to Omaha. They spend the weekend. They'll
Yeah,
be
but-
in our bars downtown.
So like we have the bachelorette parties, which is great. You only have those once in your life, right? Hopefully.
I don't know.
If you're
It's
doing
getting
it
to-
right.
Do you have multiple
Now-
bachelorette parties?
I think
If
the
you're like-
average
I
for
mean,
bachelorette parties is
people
like
love it.
1.27.
People love excuses to go out and do, but then we have the sashes for the birthdays and things of that nature. I'm out on that. I draw a line pretty early.
That is
So at 22,
Why don't you
wait.
just put on some
No.
normal clothes and go downtown and have a couple drinks with friends?
people
Whatever
do
happened to that?
People do that.
No, they don't.
Yes,
They're all
they
dressed
do.
up like idiots.
That's one group. That's
I'm
one
with-
party who
I'm
pretty
all the way
regularly
with
is
Connor
going
on
out
this.
and having drinks.
I hope you avoid all bars in this town in
Yeah.
December for ugly sweater bar.
Oh, I know.
crawls.
I've been a part of one. I've been a part of the crawl because I like friendship.
You are an old man.
I am.
You are becoming an old man. You are becoming a curmudgeon. You are just beginning to hate people. What if putting on a sash makes the time that they're going to have at the bar even more fun than what it's going to be?
I
You're
don't see
against
how that's
that
possible.
because it's their birthday.
Yeah,
And then
it
they
would be
get-
their birthday with or without the sash.
But then you see the sash, and you got a single guy like me go up like, "Oh, does a birthday girl want a shot?" And then they get a free shot.
yeah, but she's gonna tell everybody that it's her birthday anyway.
I wrote my Venmo on the back of my car windshield.
We're going to Branson.
Will you buy us some Tito's shooters?
No, I have.
Pay for our drinks
Spot
in
on.
Branson or at Okoboji.
Oh, thanks for the shot.
Okoboji. You want to talk about a place that is stupid?
Take him to church.
Okoboji. That is a stupid place.
Whoa!
Why would you-
Let my man cook.
Okoboji, salt life. Like what? This isn't the ocean. It's Iowa. It's Okoboji.
Nailed it.
Okoboji sucks. Get a life. Go to the ocean. The Gulf of America. It's there for you
Do you
too.
realize how many local Division I coaches have
I know.
cabins at
I know.
Okoboji?
And they're
and
all
are there on
rich.
the weekend?
Go to Florida.
Oh my god! I'm crying.
Okoboji.
Jeez.
There's a popular place when you get off 29 as you veer your way up towards Okoboji. I would love for you to be at that particular convenience store when everybody that is coming from Omaha to Okoboji
Yeah.
usually stops at.
Yeah.
I can't wait for Visit Okoboji to send a very mean tweet to the Connor Happer show.
You like amusement parks, Arnold's
They're
Park?
going to take away Venmos from me. They're going to subtract
You're
my
gonna walk into an
Venmos.
Okoboji bar. They're like, "You're not welcome here. We know you, Happer."
We don't serve
Did
your
you have a bad
kind.
experience up
No,
there?
I've never been to Okoboji. Why would I go to Okoboji? There's
Because
lakes everywhere.
everybody I've met in Omaha has been to Okoboji.
There- I've never been to Okoboji.
Is Okoboji the Geneva of the Midwest here?
What is that?
Okoboji is the Key West of the Midwest.
Wait, there are strip clubs everywhere?
I don't know.
Plus, you have Winterfest.
I don't know what happens at Okoboji, but I know that people come back from it and they are different. They're different people. They're changed. They're like, I spent the weekend at Okoboji.
They
It's
think
like,
they're better than you.
yeah, they think they're better for some reason. It's like, no, you went to a lake.
And you say,
You went to a lake.
and you say, I went to Capitol Beach.
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's a lake. It's a body of water. Holmes Lake. It's all the same.
Pacific
Zarinsky.
Ocean, Atlantic Ocean,
Yeah.
Okoboji. Who cares? It's all water to me.
You're so
It's
rich.
all
How
water.
about you just build a pool in your backyard? Call that Okoboji. I'm gonna go hop in Okoboji after dinner. Great. It's in my backyard.
We call it Okoboji West, Connor.
But they would. There'd be a sign on it that says that.
I strung
How
these
many-
yellow Christmas lights up over the awning. It's like a pergola.
How many-
It makes me feel like Okoboji.
How many
And then
lake
in-
houses in Okoboji have a 5 o'clock somewhere
Right.
sign?
And then in the
All of
winter,
them.
and then in the winter, you freeze over the pool because they have Winterfest up at Okoboji. I think you'd like Winterfest.
Okay.
Yeah, where the lake is frozen and you can snowmobile and there's fires on the lake and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know. I don't know
I
what
just don't
happens.
think
in
you
the
like
Okoboji.
people.
Oh,
You
it's
don't like
possible.
crowds.
That's possible.
So you might like tonight's game for Nebraska Creighton.
Yeah, not a lot of people.
there has been a trend.
Oh,
I don't think. I don't.
I think NRG Media has assured there will be a lot of people.
That's exactly right.
Do they work at NRG Media?
No, we have many opportunities to get into the game. David, by the way, writes in,
Hi, David.
Okoboji is the Lake Havasu of the Midwest. That's exactly right.
What happens
exactly-
at Okoboji stays at Okoboji.
And people have T-shirts that say Havasu. Have you Havasu'd yet, or whatever it is?
Well, they also call it Boji. I went up to Boji for the weekend.
yeah, I went over to Boji.
Yeah, you know what? We had to close
Jeez,
down.
these
the,
people
we
sound
had to close down the
It's
house.
bad, Matt.
They sound terrible.
It's bad.
They sound worse than
Hey.
Geneva people.
Hey.
Because if you know Geneva people, Mike knows Geneva people.
2:30
Geneva
on a
people are
Friday,
terrible.
coming out of Omaha on 29.
I know.
Packed.
I know. Where even is Okoboji? I have no idea.
Northwest Iowa.
Really?
Just outside of Sioux City, little ways.
Okoboji.
Spirit Lake.
You don't even know how to spell it.
150. 3.5 hours to get to this hellhole. Okoboji.
You haven't even been there. How do you know it's a hellhole?
Well, I just I hear things. I see things. 3.5 hours. All right. Well, You guys,
And our
topping
chances
that.
of getting somebody, hey, I got a cabin up there. You guys want to use it for the weekend?
Yeah, so much for, hey, I got a place in Okoboji. You want to play 36 this week? So much for that.
they got golf up there.
It's Okoboji. I bet they do.
Do they have golf at Lake Havasu? And they've got golf at Lake Okoboji.
It's the same thing. All right, that's the
Have
crossover.
fun. Have a good call tonight.
Thank you.
Enjoy. QBR.
Maybe for some people. Not for the people wearing Creighton shirts, though. Crossover powered by Every Level Concrete Repair in Omaha at everylevelconcrete.com. It is Tuesday. We'll start things off next.
That's the crossover. The Connor Happer Show is next on 1620 The Zone.
Breezy and chilly start to Tuesday with feels like temperatures in the 20s and 30s out the door. Expect mostly sunny skies throughout the day with northwest wind gusting up to 25 miles per hour. Milder afternoon with highs in the mid-60s. I'm meteorologist Sean Everson from KETV News Watch 7.
Listen up. I got a secret weapon that'll make your family happy. Real happy. My new fiery Italian pizza. A bold pie topped with savory sausage, cup and char pepperoni, sliced hot cherry peppers, and mozzarella cheese. This pie's got a complex blend of flavor and a little bit of heat. Available for a limited time, so don't miss out. Order today. Godfather's Pizza. Do it.
Your best walleye trip ever is coming up when you join me, Crash Davis, as we travel to the walleye capital of the world. Yep, September 14th to the 18th, we're doing it again aboard a deluxe motor coach, and we're traveling to Ballard's Resort on Lake of the Woods. Price includes round trip, motor coach, transportation, 4 nights lodging, 3 days, fully guided walleye fishing, and all your meals. Go fishing with me, Crash. Your best trip ever is coming up. Sign up at ballardsresort.com. That's ballardsresort.com and set the hook.
It's the Connor Happer Show. Are we sure we want to do this?
Could you, make an announcement that we're ready?
It's the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
All right, welcome in, everybody. Happy Tuesday. It's the Connor Happer Show here on 1620 The Zone and on 1620thezone.com. Connor Happer, Josh Odson with you. Welcome. Sorry for those of you who are listening to us live from Okoboji. I know there are many, especially around this time of the year.
Just trying to do some floating.
Yep. Just go to Okoboji and just hang out on a boat. Hey, we got lakes, Josh.
Yeah.
I prefer Nebraska lakes. That's all I'm saying.
Better corn, better lakes.
Jet skis. You could put your jet ski on a lake somewhere in the state, right?
Probably.
You have to travel a little while, but you can get your jet ski out there somewhere. I don't know what the lake rules are. I'm not really a lake guy.
Wow.
I'm not really a body of water guy, to be honest with you. If I'm taking my vacation, I'm taking my vacation to the concrete jungle, Josh.
That's right.
Or to a baseball stadium somewhere. That's pretty much it.
Not a lot of those on lakes.
I've been pressured into taking a beach vacation once or twice in my day. I enjoyed my time, but I'm a little high maintenance when it comes to the beach. I can't sit out there all day long. I have fair skin. I need food.
That's true.
I'm hungry. And the food's not there. Yeah, you gotta pack your bag. Everything's full of sand. You gotta reapply sunscreen every 5 seconds. I want to jump into the water. Oh, you gotta reapply sunscreen again. Oh, a shark might eat you. You jump into the water. It's just not my thing. So I stick to where I wear all my clothes, which is cities. That's where people wear all their clothes. And we don't wear different kinds of clothes. We wear regular clothes in the city. Josh?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Nobody's ever worn anything weird in a city.
My wife writes in, pub subs on the beach, though. That did happen. I did have a pub sub from Publix on the beach. But I will say it took me a long time to get those subs.
Oh.
I went into the Publix and I put in my order ahead of time and I waited 15 minutes and then I traveled to the grocery store. This is probably about 25 to 30 minutes after I placed my order. I figured this is going to be ready. I'm going to the Publix. I'm going to scoop up all the subs and then I will be done and I will head back to the beach house.
Mm-hmm.
That was not in the plans for that day. It took much longer and one person had to make the sandwich piece by piece by piece by piece. And it took a long time to get those pub subs.
Yeah, businesses aren't staffing places anymore.
No, I know. So when you put in an order for like 8 sandwiches or something like that, it's going to be a problem.
Sure.
Just know you can't do that anymore. You just know that you can't do that.
Please put in 4 orders of 2.
Yeah, they might be able to pull that one off. For the 402, are they still building Big Lake in Gretna? Josh, you would know. You were of public
I
municipalities.
believe they want the NHL team there first, and then
the professional volleyball, then the volleyball headquarters.
Yeah, and then once they have all those celebrities working and living in the area, they will then build Big Lake for them to have houses around.
Okay, thank you for the update. I appreciate that.
And they just need a little bit more money from you. If you could just pass the hat around, if you could just add what you need in there.
Yeah, I'm sure to be able to put that together.
No big deal.
Allan Bell will join the show at 11:30. We'll look back at the Masters weekend and what's to come. We're in the odd sports season now.
That's right.
Something surely is happening this weekend. The NFL draft is coming up.
Well, I mean,
the Kentucky Derby is coming up.
It is. We could get boots on the ground reporting from.
The
Nico Amalivia.
He do be leaving. He do be leaving. And Omaha Supernovas star Allie Batenhorst will join the show today at 12:30. It's a big time. The Supernovas are kicking butt once again, and then they're piecing out of their league. So they're trying to send themselves off on a high note.
We're trying to win 2 titles in 2 years, and then deuces.
See ya. That's a lineup powered by the Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard. We would love to hear from you all today on the show. 402-951-1620 on the hotline. You can call or text that number. Tweet at Happer Show at Connor Happer on the JTech Instruction Zone Twitter feed. Email Connor, Josh O at 1620thezone.com. on the Equitable Bank Zone inbox. And we say good morning to the YouTube streamers today. Hello, everybody. Platcat says WNBA draft prop smacked last night. They smacked.
I told you, Haley Van Lith at 11.
You said 11? Exactly.
Yeah, because the one mock draft I read had her at 11.
Wow. You in that mock draft nailed it.
Yep.
Unbelievable job by you.
I told you.
Once again, another thing that Josh called on this show perfectly by looking at the internet one time. Baymon says, what up, boys?
What up, Baymon?
What up? Also, of course, you could watch us. We have 2 reactions on Facebook. Well, we have 3 reactions on Facebook, and 2 of them are from Josh.
2 of them
so
are from me? Really?
Josh, put the Facebook away during the show,
All
okay? Right. Everybody else, the Facebook is for you.
I go where the people are, and the people are on Facebook.
The people are on Facebook. Send reactions on Facebook. Also today, we will debut MLB Reaction Overreaction. We'll ask if Josh is very panicked right now or just mildly panicked. We'll ask if the Angels are real.
If Angels are real?
We will ask really existential questions.
Wow.
Yes, are Angels real on this show today? So stay tuned for that.
Okay.
Elsewhere today on the show, yesterday we moved a step closer to the betting apps being legal in Nebraska. We'll talk about that a little bit. There was an elite running back yesterday that entered the portal, but Nebraska will definitely not be involved. The story that is now taking off nationally involved the Braves dugout reporter, Wiley Ballard. And now it has become a culture war, Josh.
It really had, really quickly.
Quickly. So we'll discuss culture war of the day. Now that's a topic.
If you'd like to sponsor culture war of the day, please contact our sales department.
There's at least one every day. Culture war of the day is absolutely a thing.
I don't see those winding down. I see them ramping up.
There's going to be more.
It's a growth industry.
Extremely exciting news out of Boulder, where Travis Hunter and Shador Sanders will be getting their numbers retired.
Finally.
This weekend, they'll be getting their numbers retired in 5 days, Josh.
Before they turn pro, they will have their numbers retired.
It's amazing. There's a college football list that I'd like to check in on. We have a Creighton, Nebraska baseball game tonight.
Ping!
And I'm a sicko, and I have some attendance figures that I'd like to bring up. Over the last couple of years for Creighton, Nebraska baseball downtown. What's Bill Belichick's girlfriend doing at North Carolina? Turns out a lot. Dogs are ruining the planet, and the random Wikipedia page of the day. All coming up today on the show. We're busy, Josh.
Dogs are ruining the planet.
That's just one of many topics.
Gloss over
one of many topics.
What you said there.
One of many topics, Josh.
Okay.
I don't make the topics. The topics really come to me. And I cherry pick what I feel like is a good discussion point.
All right.
So, a lot to get to today. We're glad you're with us. Back after this on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone. Royals are in New York, which means over the next 2 days, you'll see players from the Kansas City Royals appearing a lot on MLB Network. And not surprisingly, they've invited world-renowned talker Vinny Pasquantino to the studio.
Love when that guy talks.
He is funny. I don't like so much when he hits these days.
Interesting.
Because of the lack of hitting of which he is doing at this moment.
Hit a home run on opening day.
Yeah. Not much else, Josh.
Okay.
But he's funny, and I like him. And there also happens to be this guy who's in the minor leagues and plays first base and hits rockets everywhere, who I'm curious about.
You'd like to see that?
His name is Keg.
Extrapolated to the big league level?
Well, I probably need a little bit of a bigger sample size, but we're getting very close, Josh. We're getting very close.
Just need those wins to change.
We're getting close for me to be like full on calling for it. Like, he needs to be there. We're not there yet because I'm patient, because it's April 15th. Hopefully you've done your taxes.
Yeah, get those done, because the government is going to take forever to pay you, but you should pay them right away.
That's right.
When you're calling for it, and you don't put it on the internet that he's calling for it.
Not calling for it.
Are you calling for it to be AAA or Major League Baseball?
Well, we can decide that when we get.
Okay.
We can cross that bridge when we get there.
Situational?
Yeah.
Sure.
We'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Okay.
I'm not, just to be clear, don't put it on the internet that I'm calling for anything right now. I'm not calling for anything.
Not calling for it.
Not calling for it. Not calling for it. I am calling on one thing, though. It is for you to listen to Creighton and Nebraska play baseball tonight.
Oh, hell yeah.
It'll be on 1620 The Zone.
Ever heard of it?
1620 The Zone, starting at 6 o'clock. With John Bishop, Connor Happer, and Pat Vendetti, maybe?
Question mark?
I think it sounds like Pat's going to come up and say hello for a little while.
Which hand will he hold the microphone with?
Well, you don't need a hand to hold these microphones.
Okay.
They're headsets.
Which hand will he keep score with?
He might not even do that. I don't know. I don't know what hand he writes with. I think he writes with his... Well, I don't know.
Could be a good question
when
he's in the booth.
Hey,
what hand do you
what
write
hand
with?
do you write with?
What's your dominant hand?
Anyway, Nebraska and Creighton tonight. Both teams coming off of 2 out of 3 losses over the weekend, series losses over the weekend to both Iowa and Seton Hall. I heard this as a discussion on the morning show, which is funny because I had plans to talk about the same. I was curious because I was looking at some of the games that these two teams have played against each other in this ballpark. There's been 22 games between Creighton and Nebraska at TD Ameritrade Park / Charles Schwab Field, Omaha.
Okay. 22?
22 games played.
I would have guessed more, honestly.
Would you like to? I mean, it's basically 2 a year. They're not
3 every 2 years.
This will be the only one this year.
Yeah.
For the record, Nebraska has requested 2 home games this year, so
they need the money. Remember,
that's right. They need the money. I don't know what the reasoning is behind it, but they're only playing one at at Charles Schwab Field this year. 22 games in the books. Tonight will be game number 23. Do you care to guess who has won more times? Or if there is a team that has won more times than another?
Anecdotally, it feels like Creighton has more wins in this series. That could be recency bias.
Now, Creighton has more wins in the series recently. They've dominated the series recently. But I'm talking about at this ballpark since 2011. You would be correct, Josh.
Okay. You made me doubt myself.
But it's not dominant. Creighton 12 to Nebraska's 10.
Okay.
Wins against each other in this ballpark. But I mostly pulled this information to look at some attendance figures. And I mean, we remember the first game. It was cold. There haven't been a lot of warm nights for this game.
That's right.
Over the years. That absolutely plays a factor. But I can recall some days at Rosenblatt Stadium that And maybe we just look at this with a little bit of a rose-colored glasses because it was Rosenblatt. Now it's gone. And I went to the zoo over the weekend and I saw the foul pole and I said, this is stupid. Why are we not playing baseball here anymore? And then I get triggered all over again. And then I have to go to the zoo with all the zoo people. And then that triggers me even further. But we remember when this game would draw, quite heavily. The first game at this ballpark drew over 22,000 people between these two teams.
Whoa.
Since then, there was 21 games played after that until tonight. 1, 2, 3, 4, only 5 more games that have drawn over 10,000.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
Only 5 more games that have drawn over 10,000. And none since the final meeting of the 2019 season where Creighton won 2-1 and they drew 10,378. So the average attendance over the 22 games at this ballpark between these two teams is 8,307. The average attendance in the 4 games that have been played at that, the 5 games now that have been played between these two teams at this ballpark since COVID, 5 games, 1 in 22, 2 in 23, and then 2 in 24, and there will be 1 this year. We'll see how it adds in. Average attendance since COVID, 3,814. Once again, weather's bad. These games will be playing,
almost always
early April, sometimes late March. But for people who are asking, what happened to my what happened to this beautiful game that I loved? I don't know. It's lost some juice, Josh. That's very sad.
It on the field it hasn't, but it used to be kind of an event, and it really isn't anymore.
No. Yeah.
That can't be entirely because of the weather.
And that's the question. Like, I'm trying to figure out why. So since 2011, when the ballpark opened, Nebraska has been to 6 regionals. Creighton, I believe, has been to 2 over that period of time. Let me check that real quick. 3 over that period of time.
You need great weather and both of these teams to be pretty good to get it to kind of elevate.
I think that's when you get the over like 15,000s. But like I don't know. I find it interesting that this doesn't draw 7,000, 8,000, even pop toward 10,000. I mean, once again, the weather is a big part of this, and it's going to be chilly tonight or cooler, I guess, tonight. We would invite, everybody to come out and
it'll be fine.
It will be fine. But it's something has happened here. It's pretty much steadily kind of declined over the years. And the ballpark factor isn't new anymore. Everybody's been to dozens of games in the ballpark, and you don't have to go down and see it for the first time or anything like that. I would argue that there's a more exciting brand of baseball that is being played compared to when the ballpark opened, when the BB Corbats came in and every game was 2-1 and all of those things. And Creighton still plays to their ballpark a little bit, but they have more gap-to-gap power now, and they're more athletic than they have been. Nebraska's had some power teams and some power arms over the years. But I think, you're looking at a couple teams who don't necessarily routinely go to the NCAA tournament, and they're kind of fighting for spots in their own conference, right? Their paths to the postseason are about them, number one, getting in their own conference tournaments and then probably winning them in order to get to the NCAA tournament. And so this game, when you don't have to think about RPI and all these other things, like the midweek games, they just kind of take away a little bit more importance when you're not trying to really polish and tidy up that resume so much that you need it to get into the NCAA tournament, because they don't. Neither side does. Neither side is an at-large team. in really any circumstance. In my opinion, I mean, maybe Creighton has an outside shot at that at this point, but I don't think Nebraska does. So they're both thinking about their conference. They're both thinking about what the weekend means to them, and they both have huge series coming up this weekend, and they need to win, games to find their way into the conference tournament and then put themselves in position to win it. And then, oh yeah, by the way, we play our biggest rival that's 50 miles down the road on Tuesday. Oh crap. What are we going to do? And don't get me wrong, it matters to both of these teams. Creighton had one of their more, if not their most inspired effort of the season 2 weeks ago tonight or this afternoon, I guess, when they played each other in Lincoln. But so it means something, but maybe not as much after these teams have sort of fallen off the table a little bit from a regional, a national standpoint, I suppose. So anything on the YouTube here?
CJ says bet the over on walks tonight.
Yeah, this could be set up for many pitchers. Many pitchers.
One of those Nebraska Creighton midweek games.
Yes.
O-Trips.
Yes.
I think it constantly being a midweek game hurts, but no clue how they'd make it a weekend series.
Yeah, it's always been. It always gets talked about every year, where it's like, how do we find a way to do this on the weekend where we get the best on the best? And
like, you don't want to do it in early March.
Yeah,
which is kind of when you'd have to do it.
Yeah,
right?
because they have, each of the teams have their priorities of what they want to do from a schedule standpoint. They want to get big RPI series and stuff like that. And I mean, maybe there usually is like a bye weekend where you're not playing a conference series during conference play, but they have to line up. It's just luck. It would just be luck. So I don't know. I don't know how you do it.
And then does one school get all 3 home games, or do you Friday here, Saturday there? How do you do it?
I don't know. It's a good question. Anthony writes in on
Anthony.
The Equitable Bank Zone inbox. I think the change in conferences for both Creighton and Nebraska hurt this game. Nebraska was a much better team in the Big 12 days, and Creighton was probably better in the Missouri Valley. Both baseball in both leagues are not as much of a priority. I don't think there's any doubt about that. Yeah. We thought at first that Nebraska would just have a fun time running roughshod over the Big Ten, and
really seemed like a lock.
As we have learned over the years, you either become one or that's really your only option. You're going to be the Big Ten over a certain period of time, and that has its advantages. And Nebraska's starting to find its identity as a school in the Big Ten. It's been 15 years now. Creighton is definitely found its identity as a member of the Big East, because its primary sport is basketball, and they've had success there. But yeah, there are some sports that kind of just get left behind a little bit, and there's no doubt that there's just not as much oomph in either of those conferences than there is in their previous ones in the sport of baseball anyway. So, yeah, O-Trips writes in, gonna be a long game tonight. But join us for all the fun tonight on 1620 The Zone. And good news, we got a reliever.
You got a reliever?
Well, we got a reliever.
Oh yeah, literally and figuratively.
We got Pat. I don't know how much we're going to be counting on Pat tonight, but we might need 72 pitches out of him. Who knows?
Might need a couple innings.
All right. Thank you for being with us today. We'll be back after this on a Tuesday, the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone. on up here up the corona.
Let's get back to the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Oh boy. Well, speaking of Nebraska and Creighton, John Rothstein has a tweet.
Oh, hi, John.
He's not sleeping. It's not May.
Yeah, not May yet.
Source. Although I saw a picture of him, he was like drinking or maybe, I can't remember if he posted. I definitely don't follow him on Instagram. Do not put it on the internet that I follow him on Instagram. But I saw this somewhere. He was drinking a Peroni.
Oh, hello.
I love a Peroni.
Yeah. Good take.
Yeah. So Mr. Rothstein tweets, source, next season's game between Creighton and Nebraska. Notice which team he put first. Honk, honk. Will be on Sunday, December 7th at Pinnacle Bank Arena. Of course, time, and I'm sure it'll be on the BTN. Time is TBA, but put it on your calendars, folks. Jays and Skurs from Pinnacle Bank Arena on December 7th, which is a Sunday and not a weird Friday.
It is a date that will live in infamy.
It is a date that will live in infamy. Is this, I assume this is conference title weekend?
Sounds like it would be. What is a conference title game anymore, though?
Nope. Just for those who are interested. Maybe you're fans of Ohio State or something. Who knows? Maybe you're fans of Boise State. Something like that. Yes, I believe a conference championship Saturday would be December 6th. And then Creighton and Nebraska will play each other in basketball on December 7th. So no weird Friday night shenanigans again.
Good.
No reports yet on if Ryan Kalkbrenner is sick or not.
Let's get any more eligibility.
We'll have to check in with him around that time.
See if Nebraska can win it again.
That'd be funny if we called Ryan Kalkbrenner the week of that game. We were like, how you feeling? He's like, I'm a little under the weather right now.
Funny you ask. Because
that would be a great bit. Nebraska fans would absolutely lose their minds. They would have reactions to that.
There would be takes.
They would have reactions to that tweet. All right. Josh, it's time for our culture war of the day.
Oh no.
Which is now taken off. This is from last night's Braves Blue Jays broadcast.
Go Braves.
Josh, you're familiar with dugout reporter Wiley Ballard.
I am. That's my guy.
Now,
he's a youngin'.
Now, what's the, does he do fun stuff during the games a lot? Like, this is kind of his deal?
If you're a ballpark that serves a weird food at your concession stand, he's going to eat it.
Okay.
I mean, his name is Wiley Ballard, and he looks like every rich suburban Atlanta person you've ever met.
Interesting.
That does come into play here.
It kind of does, because culture war of the day.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
So he's kind of a wacky guy. You need to be a little bit of a wacky guy to be the sideline reporter.
But not so wacky that he's, quote unquote, the wacky guy. Like he
knows what he's doing.
He's doing a report every other inning or whatever.
But he's got to find stuff to talk about.
One of those is going to be a wacky report.
Okay. So he knows what he's doing, but he also knows he's got to do his job.
Right.
And he knows that, if you're on the Mets broadcast, you want to see Steve Gelbs in a Vikings uniform, whatever the hell he was doing last night. Or, talking to Grimace or something like that. So here is a snippet from the Braves broadcast last night. I don't know the context to this. I don't know if they were taught. I don't know if they dared him to do anything like this.
So at this point in the game, I was kind of dipping in and out. The game was in hand. I believe they came across the revelation that young Wiley was single.
Okay. And then they probably were like, "Hey, why don't check these ladies out?"
I know there's a couple other Braves fans that listen to this show. Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe that was the impetus of this. They somehow found out he was single, and then the guys in the booth were like nudging him along, like, "Well, tonight's the night. We're in Toronto. You need to get out there."
We would do the same thing to Matt McMaster.
We absolutely would.
All right, so here is the clip in question from last night's Atlanta Braves broadcast.
Fun up here up at the Corona rooftop. Who do we got here? What's your name?
My name's Lauren.
Lawrence, all right.
And I'm Kayla.
Kayla, and you guys hang out at the rooftop lounge often?
Once a year I come out to visit.
Okay, well, we timed it pretty well. All right, good. How are you guys feeling about rooting for the Braves today?
Oof, I don't know. I'm hoping for the best.
What about you? Are you a Braves fan now?
Not quite.
Not quite. All right, I'm gonna go to work up here, guys. Good luck the rest of the way.
Okay, Wiley. You got 4 innings to get the numbers.
I'm on it. I'm on it.
Get us some more Braves fans.
All right, so they want me to get your number.
They want you to get my number.
I'm dead serious. They're saying in my ear right now. She didn't believe me because she thinks you guys are not. I'm making this up. Even if you guys weren't, I might use that in the future. That's actually a pretty good move.
This is unbelievable.
So the best part of this right now is that Wiley could totally be faking it. This might be the new move. Just walk around with a FanDuel microphone and an earpiece in and convince fans that they're actually on TV.
I should have thought of this years ago.
I am speechless.
I got the number. We're good.
And there she was at the end of the video, Miss Lauren giving Mr. Ballard
entering her digits into his phone,
because that's how they do it nowadays.
That's a weird move.
It is, but it's but they just give them your phone.
I don't have a pen. I don't have paper. Like,
I don't know
I
how
get
this
it.
works. I don't know how it works.
Yeah.
We're so far out of the game, Josh. It was just. It
what happened to writing it on your hand?
It would be impossible. Or how about just saying it out loud? There's 402.
402.
It's like, no, here. How about you take this? They're actually, you know what? The kids have probably outdone us on that one. They're smarter than us.
Yeah, you do it.
So Wiley Ballard. There was a lot of conversation last night. Immediately, the conversation was, "Damn, this dude just smooth with it. He got it. That was a great line, whatever it was. Like, this is funny. It's on a baseball broadcast." And now the conversation has turned into the roles of men and women in sports media and the double standard and things of that nature. I don't know why we have to ruin everything, but here we are.
Here we are.
Everything is ruined.
A thing can't just be a thing anymore. And I don't
That's my main complaint, by the way, on all this.
I don't want to outright
we can't have
dismiss
fun.
anyone's concerns.
I know.
But
I know.
Boy, this seems pretty wholesome isn't the right word, but it seems pretty innocent. Like,
I know. You got to be pretty cynical about things.
She could have also turned around and like said no to getting the phone number. Like,
yes. But she had a great, like, she seemed like she was into it. You know, she was like,
he's a handsome
really?
man.
Oh, really? They told you to do that?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Like,
they told you to do that. And he's like, well, yeah, they actually did tell me to do that. But now that I think about it, it's a kind of a great line.
I'm going to bookmark that for later.
They told you to, actually, yes, we're on the air right now. All right. So they want me to get your number. And he was being truthful, right? This does set the table for more things like this to happen, which, you don't want to, but this one,
probably isn't one we need to imitate to go viral, everybody.
I know. This is organic. The situation seemed right. And it was sort of awkward at first too, because he was like, "You guys, Braves fans?"
Braves fans,
and the other
no.
lady was like, "No."
No. Why would you ask?
And Lauren, who gave her her phone number, was like,
she entered a number. I guess we don't know.
Yeah, she could have wrote in anything. She was like, "Yeah, I visit once a year." I'm dying to hear a follow up. I think this is a great potential love story, and I thought we loved love as a country, but no, we love culture wars more.
Well, yeah, I guess. What do we love more?
Poll question. What do we love more, love or culture wars?
Now the Braves have 2 more in Toronto.
Do you think Lauren and Friend are going back?
I almost think they're at the point where they need to find Lauren and get her on the air tonight and say, everything's okay, everybody.
Yeah.
Everything's okay.
You might be right. Or maybe they, how many more they got 2 left?
They got 2 left.
So tonight, maybe they go out for a drink tonight. Lauren and Wiley.
Oh, what a funny bit.
They go out for a drink tonight, and then there's weirdo Wiley Ballard taking a selfie, and then they put it up on the broadcast on Thursday. How's that sound?
I would be pro that.
Would that quell any of the concerns?
Now, I don't want this to be a scenario where they just don't have a sideline reporter tonight. Like Wiley's not. We don't need to do this, people. This doesn't need to be a thing.
I'm just saying, it's happening. People are talking. They're discussing, Josh.
Just let Wiley live.
Charles writes in.
Hi, Charles.
Where can I order a 1620 The Zone microphone? See, I don't think that would help you. I don't know.
I don't know. You
would have to have it.
Has it ever helped you?
Well, I've definitely never tried.
Okay.
And I would just think like I don't think radio probably does it for young single women. TV though?
Couldn't possibly.
Where you could be like, you're wearing something nice. Maybe you're wearing a tie or you're wearing a nice Braves quarter zip or something like that. And you're like looking at a camera. You're like, you got the earpiece in. The earpiece does something. You got to understand when I do this for the College World Series, I'm wearing my earbuds, my iPhone earbuds that are wrangled and mangled from 36 years of usage.
And a big bucket hat.
It's not an IFB, it's not professional. I mean, it is professional. We do professional work.
Yeah,
but
we're professional.
We work with what we have.
Yeah.
It's
a tight budget.
So I just think you got to, I don't know if that works. The 1620, the microphone.
I mean,
O-Trips writes in, you have any earpieces? Do we have any IFBs laying around? I wear an IFB when I do Creighton stuff because I'm constantly jamming that sucker back in my ear because my ear canals have weird shapes.
I bet we could get one from Chris. Like if we really
They're
needed
expensive.
one.
They tell me every time how expensive they are.
Don't jam that in your ear. It's
don't
expensive.
Break these. They're expensive. I'm like, okay, whatever. I need to use it though, and I need to jam it back in my ear. Charles says, "Hey, Odson says I should get your number."
Yes, you can use that line, everybody. If you're out this weekend,
Baby boy McMaster wants your number.
They said
he would be the guy out there.
They said I should get your number.
Joel writes in on Twitter.
Hi, Joel.
Single women don't love AM radio. Say it ain't so. That's just my guess. That's just my read.
I'm gonna, painting with a broad brush.
Yeah.
Yes, they do not love AM radio.
But as of course we do, this conversation has hit yet another level, and it's no longer about the nice and seemingly wholesome interaction between two young people at a baseball game. It's now about something
much more.
Something completely different. Josh, before we take a break here, we got 5 minutes. We can sneak in a random Wikipedia page of the day.
Okay.
Before we're joined by Allan Bell.
AB.
So, how did we get on this morning?
Well, that's the fun. We don't know or remember.
Okay. All right. So I'll just plainly tell you what the random Wikipedia page of the day is. The random Wikipedia page of the day is the schedule for the 2025 NASCAR Cup Series.
Oh, that's right.
We need to make a list of all the random Wikipedia. The first one was the Big Dig.
Big Dig.
Can you make a note?
I can.
Yeah, make a note.
Create a Word doc.
Yeah, make a note. So the first one was the Big Dig, and the second one is the 2025 NASCAR Cup Series Wikipedia. I could send you a link if you want. Mostly because we wanted to compare the race names to what they are today compared to what they were like 20 years ago when we kind of grew up enjoying NASCAR. And so we originally were talking about the Sonoma Raceway. Nick was
young Nick.
Yeah, he told us about the Sonoma Raceway because of a different conversation we were having. And that we learned that race is called the Toyota /Save Mart 350. And then he told us all these things about the Sonoma Raceway. It's still going. And I was like, hey, remember when these races used to be just called like the Coke 600? And it turns out the Coca-Cola 600 still exists, by the way.
Happy Memorial Day.
You can't mess with that. The Coca-Cola 600 and the Daytona 500 still exists and the Brickyard 400. But other than that, we've had some changes in the NASCAR Cup Series. Would you like a couple examples, Josh?
I would.
How about the Worth? This is at Texas Motor Speedway coming up in a couple weeks here, May 4th.
Texas.
The Worth, WURTH, all caps, Worth 400, presented by Liquimoli. All caps.
Liquimoli.
Liquimoli.
What is Liquimoli?
Apparently it is oil.
Okay.
That is according to Nick.
It is, and that fits. I retract my.
He knows oil.
I retract my chuckle.
Does Nick know oil? Poll question.
Poll question.
We have the Auto Trader Echo Park Automotive 400. That's a Dover.
Too wordy.
The Iowa Corn 350 powered by ethanol.
Yeah, I like that one.
The Cookout 400.
Like the Cookout?
Just Cookout, like the Southern fast food kind of fast casual place. Cookout.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Once again, I am not invited to the Cookout.
That's right, Josh. Does that make me invite?
No, definitely not.
The Coke Zero Sugar 400.
Coke sponsors 2 races.
So then we have the Coca-Cola 600, and now we have the Coke Zero Sugar 400, which is at Daytona in August. And then we have another Cookout race, the Cookout 400 at Richmond. And then 2 weeks later, the Cookout Southern 500 at Darlington.
Both of these are Cookout, the fast casual restaurant?
I think so.
Okay.
Yes. How about the Enjoy Illinois 300 presented by Ticket Smarter?
I don't love that.
How about the Hollywood Casino 400 presented by ESPN Bet?
ESPN Bet isn't a thing in a month.
How about ESPN Bet though, Josh?
But they literally told me.
Wait, really? ESPN Bet's going away?
I got an email in my account that said, "Hey, you get the money out of here in a month, or
Really?
you're going to lose it."
They're racking that already?
I don't know. Let me pull the.
Okay, this is
Talk amongst yourselves.
This has led to another potential Wikipedia page.
Oh, that's because my inactivity.
Oh,
sorry.
They are not racking it.
I didn't mean to scare anyone.
Okay, all right. You can keep your money in your ESPN Bet accounts. The Yellowwood 500 at Talladega.
That tracks.
And there's the Cracker Barrel 400 at Nashville.
Fits almost perfectly.
The Great American Getaway 400 presented by Visit PA. That's at Pocono.
Yeah, that.
Yep. So that's what's going on in the Straight Talk Wireless 400 at Miami Homestead. And there's another cookout race. Wow. We just got done with the cookout race, the Cookout 400, March 30th at Martinsville. Anyway, NASCAR. That's our random Wikipedia page of the day. John emails in.
Too many cookouts? ?
We celebrate college football bowl games. I don't think we should be taking shots at NASCAR race names. False, John. We do not celebrate bowl game names. We make fun of them.
Yeah, I laugh at those too.
So these are very well within the possibility to be made fun of.
Mm.
Just my personal opinion. And that's our random Wikipedia page of the day. Add it into the history books, Josh. Number 2. Right behind the Big Dig.
I got it on there.
All right.
We have a Word doc.
Coming up next, we'll talk to Allan Bell of Driving the Line. He was at the most important Tennessee football practice, spring practice in recent memory.
That's right.
On Friday. Why was he there? I don't know. But what he saw or didn't see was very important. So we'll talk to Allan about that and more coming up next on 1620 The Zone.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, 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 money.
Allan Bell, the AB3 on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
All right, we're joined now on the hotline by our good friend, Allan Bell, driving the line. AB, hello. Happy Tuesday. How are you?
Happy Tuesday indeed, my friend. I'm doing good. Y'all doing all right?
We're doing fantastic. I would like to know how you found yourself at the most noteworthy Tennessee football practice, possibly the most noteworthy Tennessee spring football practice to ever exist. And you just happened to have been there on Friday as the world was focused on Nico Iamaleava. What in the world happened?
Yeah, life is funny, isn't it? Being a part of the NIL collective here in Tennessee, I was out there, and I didn't know it was going to be all that. Like, I knew there were some things going on, but I was sitting there, just standing there watching it. I was like, oh, this is going to become a national thing. And then, like, my phone was going off, and it was like, I saw, like, Ian Rappaport, like, tweeting. I was like, oh, God, this is real.
Yeah. So you got to see firsthand that he was indeed not at practice on Friday.
He was not. And there were a lot of people not happy about that. And that's when, I didn't, speak to the coaches or anybody
right.
In regards to it. But you could just tell that it looked like things had just changed. You know what I mean?
Is it So what's your takeaway for this entire thing? Like, how does Tennessee sit now? Because it almost feels like, they come away from this entire deal in like a position of power almost, because they didn't budge on giving him his $4 million or like, I guess, how does it feel now being clear of this entire thing and he's going to move on to his next school?
Yeah. So, it's twofold, right? So number one, you lost your starting quarterback. And that's tough. But on the other hand, let me be completely honest. This was extortion. That's what it was. Like that's what it was. And it's not coming from the kid. It's coming from his dad. This was clearly an extortion attempt, to get more money. Of saying transfer portals next week, spring games tomorrow. Like, you don't have a choice. You got to pay. And that's not the first time he's done that. They were just renegotiated in December. Right? Like, what are you going for, the home run record? You know what I mean? Like, you're not Aaron Judge over here, dude. And what is it? Pigs get fed, hogs get slaughtered. You went to the well one too many times, and they had enough. And like, make zero mistakes. This was extortion by timing of saying, you don't have a choice. You're going to pay us. And come to find out that didn't work. Maybe hire an agent to handle these situations.
Yeah, seriously. With that being said, it's funny because somebody out there, now I don't know if he's going to, here's the other thing. Like, I don't know if he's going to get his $4 million. He's going to go, he's going to end up somewhere and someone's going to pay him a very reasonable NIL deal to go be their quarterback next year. And he's a good player, but I don't like, yeah, he overplayed his hand. It feels like a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Let me say, like, his leverage is gone, because remember, there was another coach at a program that called this in, to Tennessee and said, "Hey, just want to let you know," and a smart move, because coaches around the country realize if it can happen to you, it'll happen to me, right? So it's smart to get that out there and say, you might want to check in on this, right? So there's going to be a lot of schools that are like, we're not involved. And part of the extortion attempt is that it's spring practice. You've had your, spring game. There's not a lot of time. Like, a lot of teams are kind of solidified on their guy. You know what I mean? Who their quarterbacks are. So, yeah, another school, he's going to play somewhere, but he's not going to get anywhere close to the money because they don't have to pay it. But here's the other thing. All right. And here's where Tennessee, finds itself, is that the kid and his dad breached a contract, a legal contract. If you are the university, do you approach this from a legal situation and say, you're not playing anywhere, you're not playing here, and you're not going anywhere else till the courts figure this out, because this is a legal contract that you sign. But then there's also optics of, does it look good suing a college?
Right. Yeah.
Because you're not getting anything, but you're already not paying the money. So you're not getting anything back. And it really looks like you're just doing it to stop him. But welcome to the world of you want to be a professional. Aaron Judge can't just leave the Yankees today. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what Tennessee will do on that, but yeah, the optics, I don't know how they would go, but they have every legal right to look into it. You know what I mean?
It's it'll be fascinating because in a lot of cases, I mean, this is being used as sort of the thing that, people are watching this one, like you said, really closely.
Yeah. It's a test subject.
It is absolutely a test case. So, yeah, fascinating stuff over the last couple of days. And Allan Bell was right there, like Forrest Gump, just watching the whole thing happen.
Yeah, dude, that's what it is. It's Forrest Gump, and he's just going through, and it's like, oh, hey, here's every significant moment.
It's fantastic. You weren't at the Masters on Sunday. Were you watching Rory fall apart and then put it back together 6 times?
No, but my goodness, man. I mean, it was funny because it was like going into Sunday, like on our show, we were talking, we were like, Rory's life is never going to be the same, one way or the other, whether you win or you lose, right? Like, this might be it. And you got to give him credit. I mean, he didn't start well, and then he, gathered himself again, and then kind of fell apart again. I mean, what a wild ride. But, dude, I mean, Rory put himself in elite territory now.
Yeah, with the Grand Slam. I mean, it's now this ended up being the topic that we discussed a lot yesterday, which is like, how do you feel about Rory? How does Rory make people feel, considering he's been the kind of pro, like, establishment guy, and he's had this stuff with the media. He's like over the last couple of weeks and stuff like that. But you're also comparing him to Justin Rose, who I don't think Americans really care about that much, and Bryson DeChambeau, who has definitely had a bit of a personality, like it's been under construction over the last couple of years here. I guess, how did you feel after Rory pulled it together on Sunday?
Yeah. And it's interesting, like you said, with Rory, because it's like, he started so young and was so good, and, he was like a fan favorite, and not that he wasn't, but he was definitely started talking a lot more, even though, like, it was kind of against the Live Tour, and I think that, like, his message was one that a lot of golf fans would agree with, but a lot of people are just like, okay, dude, like, all right, we got it. You know what I mean? Like, you yapping a lot, but I think that now that, like, this kind of washes all of it away. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that Rory is going to really care about any of all that stuff anymore. Like, it's weird how it's like, Rory kind of accomplished everything now. And it's like, oh, you know what? Here's the smart move, dude. You just show up, smile, sign autographs, and you've got the senior tour that you can make millions from after. Like, your life is set. Like, everything is good. You don't have to do anything anymore. So yeah, I think this kind of just washes it all away. You know what I mean?
Yeah. A lot of people are saying, like, oh, I wouldn't be surprised if he just ripped off this generational run now that he has this,
right?
he has this off
like
his shoulders.
Now you're not nervous. Yeah. You're like, dude, I've gone through everything. You know what I mean?
Yep. So that was cool to see him get that part off of his back, at least a little bit. The NBA play-in tournament begins this evening. Is there anything? I mean, we have a Hawks Magic game and a Grizzlies Warriors game. As little as that, moves the needle, I think, publicly, there's always gambling opportunities. Allan, anything you're looking at tonight?
There are gambling opportunities. Look, I'm going. My favorite player prop is Jimmy Butler over 6.5 rebounds. All right, I think that he's going to put in blue collar work tonight. Playoff Jimmy busted his tail, and also, I guess, I don't know how many grenades that John Morant is going to do, but I've got a feeling that the first one that comes, he's getting teed up. Like, I've got a feeling that I don't think the NBA is going to mess around with this, man. So that part I'm fascinated with. But yeah, from a player prop perspective, I like Jimmy Butler in rebounds. You get that plus money. Also, like I kind of feel like the Warriors game, like the total's like 229. Like I don't want to bet the under, but I don't think that I'm betting the over. But I am betting the over in the Hawks and the Magic game. I think it's like 218 and a half. And these are two teams that can score. You know, like I think we're gonna have two great games, but that Hawks Magic game, man, like I think there's gonna be a lot of points. So if you're looking for, you know, a total to play, I play the over in that one. I play Jimmy Butler over 6.5 rebounds.
Love it. AB, enjoy the hoops tonight, tomorrow, and then of course we have like 3 straight months of playoff NBA basketball, which is great. But just beginning over the next couple of nights. Appreciate the time. Thanks for stopping by.
I appreciate it, brother. Be good, man. Thank you.
That's Allan Bell driving the line, who's Forrest Gump. You know, he's just there. Oh, an important event in history happened. It was Tennessee football practice. Why was Allan Bell there? I don't know. I don't have an answer. I don't have an answer for that.
Excuse me, Mr. Happer. I must have had me about 15 Dr. Peppers.
It's great. Hey, by the way, we never talked about John Morant chucking those grenades.
Boy, they said no guns, and he said, "You got it, guys. No guns."
I mean, that is a pointed message, right? Because everybody's doing the guns thing, and he obviously has some guns. He had some gun history, and then he started doing the guns thing, and they were like, "Okay, Ja, like we can't
have you doing that.
You understand why we can't have you doing the guns?" And he was like, "All right, bet. What about grenades?
Loud and clear, boss."
Let's start tossing grenades into the stands like aggressively. Chucking grenades.
I understand most people are like, "Buh, the NBA." But imagine if you went into your office and you were finger guns guy, and everybody told you,
do this
"Hey,
anymore."
Chuck, you got to quit out the finger guns, man. Like everybody's sick of you doing the finger guns." And you went, "Okay," and you started lobbing grenades in accounting.
Hand grenade guy.
Yeah.
And then they'd have to put together another rule that said no more grenades.
Yeah, they would be
and
like,
then you
"Okay."
would start doing rocket launchers. Or
Bazooka.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that's a clear escalation that no boss in their right mind would stand for.
But he's Ja Morant.
Yeah.
So I guess that works for him. By the way, if we can go back to one quick detail from earlier, when I was
we got to get the details right.
When I was talking about what I use for my hearing devices when I'm in the dugouts reporting at the college, what did I say, Ja?
You said, I believe you said earbuds. And I knew what you meant.
I don't. Now, for the record, I don't use AirPods.
Okay,
they're wired. Because I have to.
Wired?
Yeah, because I have to plug them into a pack.
Oh, okay.
So they're not earbuds.
So for the record,
and they're not Airbud the dog.
You're
either.
not putting a dog in your ears.
No, I did like the Airbud movies.
You're ready to go on record.
That's like if you were to ask me, Josh, like to rank my top dogs. Rank dogs that you've encountered. Airbud would be number one. And original basketball Airbud. I don't care about these other Airbuds.
Soccer, football.
Yeah. I don't care about that. I know it's the same dog. No, it's not. That original Airbud died.
Oh no.
A long time ago.
Well, let's find out when.
I'd like to know original Airbud's name if you could find that for me real quick so I could have some respect.
Well, the dog's name was Buddy.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Passed away in 1998.
Yeah. That's about when I saw the movie. Probably about the time I watched the movie, he was already dead.
Wow. Airbud came out in 97 and that dog died in 98. Wow. Yeah. What an old dog.
We had to get an obedient dog. You can't have a puppy running around with all that youthful energy. He's popping that basketball up in the air.
So this is the number one dog that you've encountered.
That'd be my number one dog. Number one dog I've ever seen.
Out of curiosity, number two?
I haven't thought about it.
I'm not going to make you flesh out a full top five, but I would like to know the other contenders for top dog. Rank my dogs is a good bit, by the way.
I don't. I'd have to think about this some more.
Like, like the podcast, they do the Mount Rushmore of.
I'll tell you what, my friend's dog.
Okay.
My friend's dog. That dog is dead now too.
Oh.
That my friend.
So you only like dead dogs?
Well, I liked it when it was alive.
All right.
I obviously miss it now that it is dead.
Okay.
Not like daily or anything like that, but I like that dog. Dixon. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Unique dog name.
It was named after Dennis Dixon, the guy who threw perfect spirals every time for Oregon in about 2009.
No, I'm familiar.
That was a dude.
That was a dog.
Yeah, now that's a dog. Number one dog namesake. That's the number one guy right there. Snoop, Kenneth wonders.
Snoop
wouldn't make my top dogs.
Whoa.
Wouldn't make my top dogs. CJ writes in.
Hi, CJ.
Connor isn't allowed to rank dogs, being a dog hater. Well, we'll evaluate that later on in the program. We have a dog topic today that we have to talk about.
We do. It is urgent.
All right. So before we do all of that, Josh has the odd news.
Sure do.
Next on 1620 The Zone.
And now we've reached the point in the show where Josh Odson reads the peculiar, the bizarre, the comical, the odd news with Odd Son. Odd news, Odd Son. See what we did there? The odd news with Oddson.
People talk about the dog from I Am Legend. So you just maybe watch the scene where Will Smith had to kill that dog.
People love that dog.
And I mean, the dog was mostly already dead. He was turning into a zombie dog. So
Undead.
Will Smith had to do it. He had to.
Yeah.
He had to smother that dog.
He didn't have a choice, everybody.
Unfortunately. Jacob Padilla writes into the show.
Hello, Jacob.
At Connor Happer is talking about dead dogs on the radio. His canine-hating crusade continues. So I was talking about all the dead dogs and how much I enjoyed when the dead dogs were alive, which I think is admirable. It's me remembering dogs.
Keeping dog memories alive.
That's what we do.
Sometimes when a dog dies, we don't acknowledge the dog anymore.
Exactly. And then we just get a new dog.
Yeah.
Because all you people care about is yourselves. You don't actually care about the dogs. You just care about yourselves. I need more companionship. Find me another dog.
Me.
All right, Josh, the odd news. What do we got?
I want to reiterate, this is not a political story, but there are political people in the story.
Interesting.
There's a difference, you snowflakes.
Oh, is it at the trophy drop?
It is absolutely J.D. Vance breaking the national championship trophy.
Do we have a picture?
I didn't. I guess that could have been
Let me go
better produced by
I'm
me.
just gonna go find a still.
Ohio State.
I always find the stills to be more impactful.
Brought the CFP championship trophy to the White House for Donald Trump to see, but they will not be leaving with that statue intact as J.D. Vance fumbled the bag, literally and figuratively. News Nation caught the moment on live TV.
Many people caught it on live TV.
Well, we're specifically bringing up the brave reporting of anchor Connell McShane called for a perfectly timed live shot just as the trophy began to crumble in Vance's hands.
There it is.
See, Vance has the base in his hands.
Not in this picture.
Well, yeah, but the top is. He really does just look like Peter with a beard.
Oh man, that's tough.
Peter could be J.D. Vance for the next 4 Halloweens.
Wow.
There
you go. He dropped that thing.
Upon breaking the base of the trophy.
Now, is it really broken or does it just come off? Okay.
It probably
have some respect
was
for your vice
loose
president,
yeah,
Josh.
Yeah, you're right. Biased, lamestream media reporting by me. Upon breaking, the base of the trophy slipped through Vance's hands. Unfortunately, there was no live audio, just music playing at the time. Visiting the White House has been a long-standing tradition.
It has been.
So he dropped it.
Except for some teams.
He dropped that thing. Yeah, that's what this article goes on to say, and I omitted it.
Thank you for omitting it, Josh, because that's not what this is about.
That's right.
That's not.
It's about a man, any man. It could have been any vice president.
Mm-hmm. Just a guy who broke a trophy.
Yeah.
Or separated it unintentionally from its base.
Right.
That's all.
It's about shoddily made things.
Like when they bring out the crown trophy and it's on his little platform, it's on the little platform. The intention is that you take the trophy, you take the crown off of the base. There should be a note on the college football playoff trophy. You know, like the crystal ball?
Do not detach.
You should be able to pick up the crystal ball, but it's not noted on the current CFP trophy that you can and should detach the trophy from its base.
That's a good point by you.
It is noted on many other famous trophies like the crown, which is famous.
Some sort of pre-briefing would be nice.
Yeah.
With everybody.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure. This next story is a little PG-13 if you got the kids in the car.
Jeez.
But
got a lot of that today, Josh.
It's funny though. And it kind of goes along with those same things. Move Over Belmont Steaks, an enterprising startup, has announced the launch of the world's first sperm race, in which samples will go head-to-head in Los Angeles to raise awareness about declining male fertility. That's right. The unusual contest was organized by Sperm Racing, a group of young moguls and millionaires
Yeah.
who raised over $1 million.
Is our internet okay, by the way?
Yours is terrible.
It can't be just me.
And takes place April 25th at the Hollywood Palladium in front of thousands of spectators. 2 competitors, 2 scamples, 1 microscopic finish line, declared Eric Zhu in his race manifesto. Manifestos are never good. You should probably call it something else. The teen tech entrepreneur who previously founded private market analysis software dreamed up the daring event with some other guys. Oddly enough, no women involved in this. The former content strategist for Mr. Beast is involved in this.
Mr. Beast.
The goal isn't to elicit sophomoric giggles, but instead to turn health into a competition and make male fertility something people actually want to talk about, track, and improve. I'll be doing none of those things.
This is located where? Vegas?
L.A.
L.A. Figured it'd be Vegas for some reason. I don't know why.
The mini marathon will see 2 swimmers, which measure 0.05 millimeters long, race 20 centimeters along a microscopic racetrack modeled after the female reproductive system. Whichever one crosses the finish line first will be declared the winner. Wow.
So on one hand, like, obviously, I have the obligatory what's wrong with you people? What's wrong with our country? What happened to us? We used to be a proper society. On the other hand, mildly interested.
Oh. Well, that's a turn.
What's gonna happen?
Who's gonna win?
Who's gonna win? Do they actually go? Do they know where they're going?
Will there be juicing?
Yeah, right. How do you get one to go faster?
Yeah.
I
don't have the answers.
I look forward to the results.
Okay, I'm sure this will be covered by many serious news outlets. Platcat, when the betting lines come out, let us know.
Oh yeah. Beyond that.
And finally, Connor, it's tax day.
Yes.
For some reason, that means you can get a lot of free food places.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You get a free sandwich at Buffalo Wild Wings if you spend $15.
Okay.
Burger King is beefing up your tax deal. If you're a part of the Royal Perks membership program, you can snag a cheeseburger for a penny.
Whoa.
Yeah. Casey's, if you're a Casey's Rewards member and buy a large pizza, you're going to get a free pizza to use later.
Okay.
Let's see. What else?
Worthwhile investment.
Hooters.
Sure.
Is this Tuesday, customers can score select apps for $4.15. What do you think of you a Freddy's guy?
Yeah, I like Freddy's.
Customers can get double points today. Let's see. Olive Garden. We all love Olive Garden here at 1620 The Zone.
We do.
Buy one, take one is back. And yes, the breadsticks are still bottomless.
Damn.
I know, right?
Damn.
How do they do it? Taco Bell Rewards members can snag $1 toasted cheddar street chalupas. Connor, those are those things you've been eating and talking about.
I don't eat a street chalupa.
Yeah, you do.
I eat a cantina taco.
Cantina taco. Okay.
That's not a toasted chalupa.
Oh, okay.
That sounds much different.
Okay.
Today I did a cantina taco and they asked me if I wanted it caliente, and I said, sure. Make it caliente.
Wow.
And it was caliente.
If you pull up there and ask for lunch at 9:00, they'll give you.
You bet, Josh.
Lunch.
That's why I like a place like that.
Okay.
Because I want lunch.
Yeah.
I want lunch.
I'm constantly looking for a pre-work lunch.
Yeah.
And it's hard.
It's
Okay.
Taco B.
I love taco.
Now, like, probably once every couple weeks, they'll be like, go home. We're not ready yet.
Mm-hmm.
But I understand that. Not really, but if you say you got the menu open all day, you say you got the menu open all day. But like, 9:00, I roll up there and I'm like, I'd like a a beefy 5-layer burrito and a chicken cantina taco. And they're like, you bet. Coming right up. That'll be $6.
Okay.
Yeah. It's really changed my mornings,
The
Josh.
game has changed,
The
everybody.
game has indeed changed. Used to be able to do that at a place like McDonald's.
Yeah.
But now they'll have a problem with you if you say you want to make chicken at 9 o'clock in the morning. They'll say, no, we don't have those. It's like, yes, you do.
You got them.
You have them.
They're right back there.
Just toss one in for me.
Do a man a solid.
Yeah. No, they won't do it. Josh, thanks.
Thank you, Connor.
That is the odd news. We'll be back. The noon hour is coming up. Don't forget, Allie Batenhorst from the Omaha Supernovas, former Husker volleyball player, will join
Former
us
Trojan.
at the bottom of the hour. Plenty to ask there. But we'll be back with more next on 1620 The Zone.
He has the latest sports news, expert analysis, award-winning commentary, and a pocket full of cabbage.
Can you give us an indication why?
Just in case there's a sauerkraut emergency.
Let's get back to the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Josh, thank you for appropriately commemorating Jackie Robinson Day across Major League Baseball today. If our internet worked, you could see Josh's hat and shirt.
Got my Brooklyn Dodgers hat on, my 42 shirt on.
There you go. Thank you, Josh.
Someone has to acknowledge this most important of days.
Well, there are people out there who aren't acknowledging things like this anymore.
Yeah. Imagine trying to erase Jackie Robinson from history.
Seems like a weird
axe to grind. Felt like that was kind of the one.
Yeah, everyone was like, you know what? I'm good with this.
Yep. Felt like it was a great story.
This is probably a good thing that this happened. But, I don't know. I don't know what the angles are for some people. But everybody around baseball will be wearing 42 proudly today. I have a Jackie Robinson Day jersey worn by Ryan O'Hearn in like 2019.
Royals legend,
Ryan O'Hearn, number 42. It was great. I got it at the authentic, the used jersey and stuff store at Kauffman Stadium a couple of years
They
ago.
paid you to take it off their hands, if I remember
no,
right.
They didn't pay me. Why would they pay me?
Well, they were desperate to unload it.
They are always desperate to unload stuff that nobody cares about. But I found a way to take a Ryan O'Hearn jersey, Ryan O'Hearn, who I had a serious distaste for as a member of the Kansas City Royals because he did nothing but stink. And then I knew the second he got traded and let go, he got DFA'd by the Royals, he would go somewhere and have success. And that's exactly what has happened. So I have even further distaste for him. But I bought one of his uniforms, but you can't tell that it's his.
That's right.
It's really a win-win. And I get to represent Jackie Robinson in the number 42.
I noticed you're not wearing it to work.
No name on the back. I forgot that it was today.
Wow.
And so I wore my Creighton shirt. Although
now who's trying to erase Jackie Robinson?
I'm not trying to do anything. I forgot, Josh. All right. So bear with me here. Now,
maybe the internet inside Washington, D.C. forgot.
On the things that I would, people have gotten on me because I was doing a Husker podcast and I wore a Creighton shirt.
Oh, yeah. I bet they hate that.
They did not like that.
Yeah.
So what I thought about doing today, but did not do because I'm an adult and I did want to stoke the flames, but I thought about doing this was grabbing a little sticky note or something like that and putting it over this C right here on the podcast and just writing "Go Big Red" on it or something like that. I didn't do that though. So nobody can be mad at me. I didn't wear this on the podcast. I just put it on afterwards.
I think people would be like, yeah, look at that. He's writing inspirational messages to Husker fans on his shirts. I like that.
Maybe.
Was it blue though?
I think they would probably see right through it, Josh. It's a little thin, I think they'd see right through my my note there on my shirt. Platt Cat writes in.
Hi, Platt Cat.
A garage sale of old crap that no one wants. What a brilliant idea. That's right. Now all of a sudden the Huskers are doing it.
I love the idea of charging people to get inside of a garage sale where they then have to buy things. That's genius. I'm going to do that at my house.
Is that really the setup?
I don't know, but that's what I'm going to do this summer.
There was.
Oh, you want to look at my crap? $10.
There was something about. There was something about you have to gain access to this somehow. You have to gain access to the garage sale somehow by whether it's buying a ticket to the whatever crap 7-on-7 sorority tug of war monster truck rally they're doing at the Memorial Stadium that afternoon, or getting like a tour.
This will get rid of all the looky-loos. Oh, you think? I bet it won't.
By the way, we talked about it yesterday. How many people are going to show up to Nebraska's weird spring game? Not very many. Not very many.
Are they going to release a number, you think?
I don't know.
Do they have to?
No. It could be requested, I guess. And by the way, we have a FOIA of the day coming up later on today.
If you would like to sponsor FOIA of the day,
the FOIA of the day was something today. And that had to do with Bill Belichick's girlfriend at North Carolina. FOIA of the day. Yes, that's right. Could be brought to you by by you. But no, for this segment, we go to Boulder. Josh?
Boulder.
Yeah, you know what? I haven't heard it in a while, so let's just do it.
See you. Let me do this again so we get a clean take. But we know what we want, and we're going to get it. I'm a head coach. We sold out. Good, bad, indifferent, whatever. Whatever angle you take, it helps.
You best be settling in now, partner, because it's time for another Coach Prime update.
Young folks got a saying now, I'm him.
On the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Well, the day finally came.
Oh,
we had to
finally?
wait a long time for this.
Okay.
And we had to wait all the way until 6:09 p.m. last night. Nice.
Yeah, nice.
6:09 p.m. Central Time. I guess it'd be 5:09 p.m. Mountain Time.
Less nice.
At CU Buffs Football, want you to know about an upcoming event that you should put on your calendar.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That is the Black and Gold Day at Folsom Field on Saturday, April 19th. That's this Saturday, Josh.
Okay.
You could show up and watch the Buffs get ready for their upcoming season, where they will be coached by Deion Sanders, but they will not have Heisman winner Travis Hunter on their roster, and they will not have Shedeur Sanders on their roster, nor Shiloh. But that is not important in this situation. But Shedeur and Travis will be in attendance. Why? Because, Josh, the Colorado Athletic Department decided that enough time has passed and we are ready, and the fans are ready to retire Shedeur and Travis's numbers. Their playing careers ended 4 months ago.
It will be 112 days since they played their last game at Colorado. And that's long enough.
It is truly amazing. And the best part of this is that Colorado absolutely doesn't care.
Yeah.
They like Colorado doesn't care. Deion Sanders doesn't care how stupid this looks. And he's just like, yeah, I think those guys want to have their jerseys retired, so we just told them, sure. That had to have been how that happened, right?
I believe he probably said,
do you think this was Deion's idea, or do you think this was Shedeur's idea?
do I think retiring Shedeur's jersey was Shedeur's idea?
Yes.
This feels like a Coach Prime idea.
I don't know.
Now, he could have said,
I don't know.
No, guys, I'm going to be here for 20 more years. We can wait on Shedeur. You'll all still love me in 20 years.
Oh, yeah, obviously. I mean, yes. Yeah, yes. You definitely could have done that like any normal entity would have done. Or you could do it at the very next spring game.
Got to strike while the iron's hot.
Colorado has, prior to the retirement of Shedeur Sanders number 2 and Travis Hunter's number 12 on Saturday, they have retired 4 numbers in their history.
Cordell Stewart?
No.
What?
No.
All right. I'll stop guessing and allow you to read them then.
Byron White, Joe Romig, Bobby Anderson, and Rashawn Salam. Rashawn Salam won the Heisman in 1994, Josh.
That's right.
He didn't get his number retired until 2017. He had to wait. He had to wait a little bit.
Connor, he died in 2016.
That is correct, Josh.
Okay.
I know you were going to say something and you were like, let me check on this one. That's right, Josh. He died before he got his number retired.
So he did not get to go to the ceremony and okay.
Mm-hmm.
Sad.
Mm-hmm. Travis Hunter won the Heisman 4 months ago. And Shedeur Sanders didn't win the Heisman 4 months ago. And also, I think it should be noted. Check this real quick. But I do think that it should be noted that over the 2 years at Colorado, Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter, their teams that they played on, went a combined 13-12. One bowl game appearance and a loss in the Alamo Bowl
to a conference opponent.
People forget that. So, do you think this is a worthwhile jersey retirement?
See, we're making fun of it, but you are going to do this at some point. And
no, wait. Okay, yes, you are going to retire.
You can do Travis Hunter's anytime. They're always going to love Travis Hunter. There's going to be a point where Deion says, "I'm out," and then I imagine it will be probably a messy breakup.
Don't you think that it would mean more if they retired Shedeur's number after Deion quits? You know,
I don't think they would feel the love, so to speak.
But that makes it more impactful, right?
It would, yes.
Shedeur comes back when he's 55 years old. Deion leaves. It's not amicable. They're not happy with each other, whatever it might be. The entire program's in the dumps. But then in 2050 some, they're coming back around and they've had some success and all the things are forgotten. And remember those fun 2 years?
Let's bury the hatchet.
I don't know if you actually. I don't know that Shedeur Sanders is worth having it. I don't think that you ever had to do this. I don't think anybody was clamoring for this.
No,
right? In 20 years, are we going to think about Shedeur Sanders' 2 years at Colorado? Are Coloradans going to think about Shedeur Sanders 2 years at Colorado?
I'm going to remember that pick six.
Oh, yeah. They should retire Tommy Hill's number.
Yeah.
I remember that one.
Yeah.
I remember Paul Burmeister and Colt McCoy.
Hi, Paul, friend of the show. I know you're listening.
I know you're listening. You're always listening. Brian asks,
hi, Brian.
Should Nebraska retire Dylon's jersey at Husker Days this weekend? Interesting question.
Dylon.
Now, Nebraska does have it in writing somewhere that winners of major awards get their number retired, or something. Or something like that.
You go up on the wall.
Yeah.
You're a first team All-American, or you are individual award winner.
Thank you.
You go up on the wall. Numbers retired in college football is hard because there's a lot of players on the roster.
Mm-hmm.
And if you had 42 numbers that were retired and you were like the Yankees, you would just have no team. You'd have to have dudes being number 114.
I would be for that.
Dudes being number 114.
Yeah. I'd like to hear it and see it.
Aaron writes in.
Hi, Aaron.
And let's be honest. If you're going to do this so soon, it's Travis Hunter that deserves this. Shedeur was a good quarterback, but not a 4 months later retire his number.
112 days.
I don't know that he is a retire his number good at all guy.
Who, Shedeur?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
why does he get tossed into this? Travis Hunter was the star. Travis Hunter won the Heisman deservedly so.
Isn't it on a scale of what you have in your history, though? Like, Shedeur is probably one of
what
the
about
better.
Joel Klatt?
Now that they could do.
They could retire Joel Klatt. And while they're at it, they could do the All-American girl, Jenny Taft.
They should put the whole crew in. Who among us would not tune in for that?
Gus Johnson. My quarterback, Joel Klatt. And the All-American girl, Jenny Taft. I don't know, Josh. This just does it. I mean, I am more interested in the lack of, I don't think it's a lack of awareness because, oh, maybe it is.
They don't care.
Yeah, but they're so far up their own butts over there. Yeah, that's right. I've said this before about this team.
Wow.
They're so far in their own world that they probably put this out and they're like, oh my God, people are going to love this because people love Shedeur and they love Travis and they love us and everything is going
Everybody
perfect.
talks about everything we do.
They're in their own bubble. They live on their own universe.
Rent free. Y'all be thinking of us.
They live on their own planet. And like, I bet they hit send. They hit send on that, and they're like, "Yes,
we did it."
Can't wait to see the reaction on this one. It's gonna be overwhelmingly positive." And then Dion will show up to the press conference, and then somebody will ask him a question. He's like, "Hey, Dion, don't you think it's kind of weird that you did that happened?" And he'd be like, I don't think anybody thinks that. I don't know what you're talking about, reporter.
I think you're banned from these press conferences from now on.
Exactly. They're so far up their own butts. So that's really the amazing part when you put it all together. I don't think they care, to your point. But it is it's a wild move. Wild move. And they're good play. And I hate that Travis Hunter gets drug into this because nobody has anything but good things to say about Travis Hunter. Everybody loves Travis Hunter. I love Travis Hunter. I would love Travis Hunter to play for my football team. I think Travis Hunter is an excellent football player, and he says and does all the right things. And I think Shedeur is fine, and his profile is outsized maybe because of his father and his status. And I think there's a lot of questions about him at the NFL level. And there's not very many about Travis, in my opinion.
My kid matters. My kid matters.
Yeah. Crecky writes in.
Hi, Crecky.
Bowl question. Are they so far up their own butts?
Feels a little
You don't have to do that poll
risque.
question, but I like it.
Mhm.
But they are.
I would vote yes.
They are. Once again, they're going to have their 5th and 6th numbers retired ever in the history of Colorado football. A historically notable, I wouldn't say relevant, historically notable program, right? They won a fake national championship one time.
That's right.
That was totally cool.
They really should retire Joel Klatt's number.
You think they should retire Joel Klatt's number?
He's done a lot for the game, for the sport.
I don't think that should matter.
Kirk Herbstreit has retconned his Ohio State narrative into being a great quarterback.
Yeah, but he was that's true. But
he was not. Look up his numbers.
No, nobody would be like, Kirk Herbstreit, you were a great quarterback at Ohio State, so you know how this goes. Nobody does that. Everyone's like, oh, Kirk, you've been around for a long. Like, he's way better known as a broadcaster.
Ohio State legend, Kirk Herbstreit. Let Joel Klatt do this. He's a better player than Kirk.
I've been right on the nose of a sneeze for a couple minutes here. No, but Joel Klatt's more known as a broadcaster as well. You don't need to retire his football number to do the whole thing about his
How
career.
about one of those, you hang, I don't know what they do, banners or poster, whatever. Joel Klatt and a microphone instead of his number. Just acknowledge
Colorado's own
Joel Klatt, one of us.
OOU, one of us.
Yeah.
Didn't Chris Fowler go to Colorado too?
Whoa. Look at all this Colorado bias in the media. It seems to be explaining a lot, if that's true.
Where did he? Am I making this up? No, he did go to Colorado.
Wow.
Yeah.
Imagine.
Put Chris Fowler, Joel Klatt
on the same day.
Yeah.
And just make it super awkward for everyone covering it.
And then you could put up Chris Fowler's TikToks of all the times that he. Have you seen his TikToks? Well, yeah.
Have I seen Chris Fowler's TikToks? No.
Have you seen any videos of Chris Fowler lately?
No.
He's doing voiceovers for the new NCAA stupid video game.
Oh, and maybe I did see a headline about this. Go on.
He's using a nebulizer. He's trying to keep his.
Sure. It's a lot of talking in one day.
Yeah. That's what Chris Fowler's doing
okay.
right now. Wonder if he has any takes on Shedeur Sanders and things like that.
I would imagine so. He stays in the takes biz.
Mm-hmm. Hockey Dad writes in.
Hi, Hockey Dad.
If you ever wanted to know what a clown program CU is, this is it. Neither number should be retired. I think I think it's fair to say that neither number should be retired right now. That's what I would say.
Let it breathe.
I think if you're going to do there were people at the end of the season for Creighton, who root for Creighton, who were like, you know what you should do? You should just say that nobody will ever wear number 11 again on Kalkbrenner's last day at the last game at the Chai. Which, that's not a full-on number retirement ceremony. That's not a bring him back and have him look at the video board and cry and watch highlights of his career. You just had a senior day 4 months ago, right? You just had if you're a football, you just had a senior day like a couple months ago, 6 months ago, I guess it'd be at this point. So why do we need to do this whole song and dance again? Why can't we give it a couple years? And it makes it more special to do it on the other side. I can't understand why they wouldn't wait a few years and then try to get this in there. But
because Dion isn't going to be there.
Yeah, but they're still
Travis. Travis makes no sense. They will always love Travis Hunter. He will always be. I don't know.
You can retire Travis Hunter's number at any time.
Yeah,
and nobody says anything about it. So what you're saying is they did this so they could sneak Shedeur in under the wire?
I think so. That's my guess.
That's crazy. It really is, Coach Prime. You
definitely.
I would not like to turn over my entire identity of my football program over to one person.
It's very brief, though, Connor. Just let someone else take the wheel for a stretch.
Yeah, but what happens after the stretch?
Then it's all you on your own, traversing the nation.
Yeah, you better figure something out.
Let Jesus take the wheel.
John writes in.
Hi, John.
They waited over a decade to retire McBuckets. That's right. I was there. He came back. Well, he was also in the NBA.
Yeah. He was busy.
He was busy during that period of time. Text from the 757.
Hi, 757.
Cody Hawkins' dad coached at Colorado when he was the quarterback. Retire whatever number Cody Hawkins wore. I think Cody Hawkins was number 7 or 9.
I was thinking about
Cody
this
Hawkins
today.
getting stiff-armed into the planet Earth by Ndamukong Suh.
That's right. I think Colorado has had more coaches' kids play quarterback than any other power whatever university in the country.
I don't know that information without looking it up, but I'm sure that you're right. You must be right.
I feel like it's 3.
You must be right.
I think Gary Barnett's kid played quarterback too.
I don't know. We got 2. We got 2, that's for sure. All right, we'll be back after this. Volleyball is popping off, Josh, in the Metro, and the Omaha Supernovas are gearing up for another title. Former Husker and USC Trojan Allie Batenhorst joins us on the other side. Talk about her journey to get to this point and what to look ahead for with the Supernovas. Coming back on 1620 The Zone. The Omaha Supernovas became the first team to clinch a spot, the 2025 Pro Volleyball Federation Championship, with a win over Vegas last Thursday. 6 matches still left in the regular season. Atlanta is the only other team to have punched its ticket to the postseason so far, along with your Omaha Supernovas. And guess who meets each other on Saturday evening at the CHI Health Center? That's Atlanta and Omaha.
Rivalry renewed.
Indeed. And we're joined now by a Supernova. Allie Batenhorst joins us on the hotline now. Allie, thanks for doing this. Appreciate it. How's it going?
I'm great. Thanks for having me. I'm excited.
So speaking of being, I mean, I'm sure it's been a, nonstop kind of thrill for you so far this season, getting drafted, ending up in Omaha. By the way, were you hoping that Omaha was a possible destination for you professionally?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously I have tons of family here and played college here, so that was definitely a top choice for me if I had the opportunity.
So my biggest question was like, what's been the biggest difference for you or adjustment to kind of volleyball at the professional level? It still, mirrors a lot of the college game and you were around it for a long time. What's the biggest adjustment that you've sort of experienced so far moving from the collegiate volleyball game to the pro game?
I would probably say I think college prepares you pretty well for the pro league. I think, especially being at an elite program like Nebraska and USC, I think the transition has been pretty smooth, but I think the biggest difference would be this is just kind of essentially a job now, and we play the same team 4 times, and that's just very unusual for me and something I'm not used to, but it just takes a lot of focus, and I think just there's a lot of traveling and just moving all the time, and I think that's pretty similar to college too, but I think, just traveling and playing the same team over and over again, and then this just kind of being your job. I think that's probably the biggest difference, but it's been a really smooth transition, and college prepares you really well. So it's been great.
That's a really good point, and something that I don't know that people think about. You end up, it's a smaller league. You end up playing the same team, a whole bunch of times. And so that familiarity, and oftentimes, they say familiarity breeds contempt. Maybe there's a little bit of that going right now, but you have to try to find like these edges against teams that know you really well and you know them really well. Like what's the difference in playing a team the first time in a season and then by the time you play them a 4th time in a season?
Yeah, like you said, I think people just kind of get used to you and used to your tendencies, and a lot of people are kind of switching up lineups and things are changing a little bit, but yeah, you just kind of get used to seeing the same faces and their tendencies and you pick up on things. So like you said, just finding a way to have an edge on these teams and just really, really being able to be the team that shows up every day and competes and just wants to be there and shows up and just does little things every single day and works on their body and recovers. And I think that's kind of what gives us the edge on other teams, especially when you see them so often.
Allie Batenhorst is with us. What's your guy? I mean, watch you guys. It seems like you're having a lot of fun. And it seems like all the teams in the league are having a lot of fun. And obviously it is a ton of fun when you're sitting near the top of the standings or at the top of the standings. What's your guys' locker room like? Like how are you able to show what that's like on a nightly basis?
Yeah, I mean, I think I've said it before. This is probably one of my favorite teams I've been on. We get along really, really well on and off the court, and we're just a bunch of goofy girls that are playing volleyball, and just I think we're really, really close off the court, and I think it really translates well, and I think we can kind of show that through our energy, and just our relationships are very evident on the court, and we all have a really good friendship with each other. As
you go on throughout the remainder of the regular season here, what are some of the things, you're sitting at the top of the standings, you want to put yourself over the finish line. What are some of the things that you guys internally are looking to sort of accomplish before we get, closer and closer to that playoff?
Yeah, I think just like I said earlier, I think we're really, really trying to hone in on the little things. I mean, we can make these crazy big plays and do all these crazy things, but it's the little things that are going to set us apart, especially when things are getting pretty challenging. We're getting to the end of the season. It's a long season, and it's just we got to keep up with our bodies and make sure we're recovering. And we all had a meeting yesterday, and we just discussed how we're going to finish the season strong and just be able to, like I said, just really hone in on the little things and just really, really finish strong this year. And hopefully win the championship.
Right. As you have gone through the turns throughout the league now, it feels like there's a familiar face or name on just about every team. Going throughout that, and you've gotten familiar with these girls over years of playing in the Big Ten and maybe a different set for playing your 1 year at USC. Does it feel like there's a familiar face on just about every team that you're playing, and what's that like?
Yeah, I mean it's awesome. It honestly feels like a little bit of it somewhat feels like college in a way, just because you are seeing the same players that you've played in the past. But yeah, there's like a lot of players I haven't seen before that have been playing pro for years and years and years. And yeah, but it's also really comforting to just kind of look across the net and know like, oh, I've played against her for the past 4 years and we're both kind of on the same path. And just the volleyball world's a lot smaller than you think. And it's just kind of fun to be able to have those relationships and be able to say hi after the game. And yeah, it's been a blast, honestly.
People are familiar with the home court advantages for the local teams around here at Nebraska and at Creighton. Obviously, I've been amazed at looking at the attendance figures after every single game. It just stays steady and steady and steady, and it keeps on going, and it feels like it grows a little bit as well. What is a home match playing for the Omaha Supernovas like in that building?
I mean, it's always amazing. I've said this so many times.
Right.
The fans, no, in the best way possible. The fans show up for us every single night, and it truly is a blessing to have so many people that support us and just really show up for us regardless of how we're playing or how things are going. And I think it just makes our job even more fun, and it makes us feel like we're really playing for a reason, and we're just able to inspire a bunch of young volleyball girls or people aspiring to play volleyball and just put on a show for everyone and be able to kind of connect with them after the game at signings. And it's just really an amazing environment to play volleyball in. And Nebraska is obviously the state of volleyball, so it's awesome.
When you go to other places, and not to disparage those places, but they get pretty good attendance numbers as well. But it's comparative, right? And yeah. In Omaha, it does pretty well, and Nebraska's a volleyball state. What is it like? What's the feeling like going on the road and maybe playing in front of a crowd that's maybe not even as familiar with the sport? We know volleyball so well here because of just the state and how it's embraced it. Maybe not so much in other places. Like, what have you sort of experienced going out on the road?
You know what? I've actually been very pleasantly surprised by the amount of people that have showed up at volleyball games in other states. There's actually quite a few. There's always a Husker fan out there.
Yeah.
I always see somebody wearing a Husker shirt or a hat, and we have Husker fans everywhere, so that's awesome. And I think we've started to see growth in other states. Like even whenever I went to USC and I wasn't always at Nebraska, there were still people showing up. And I think just volleyball itself is growing a lot, and it's just really exciting to see. But obviously, there's no place like Nebraska, so
it's amazing. You could, I mean, anywhere you go, right? Whether you're in an airport somewhere, or you're on vacation, or you're having a weekend away, like there is always, and you're a recognizable face, right? So people are going to see you and say, "Go Big Red." Like, is there anywhere that has surprised you where you've gotten a Go Big Red from?
Oh gosh, there's been plenty of times. Like I can't even remember.
Yeah.
But there's been times where I'm at, like, I think I was in like Maine one time, and it's just, I got to Go Big Red, and I was like, oh my gosh, like hi. And we went to Hawaii when I was at Nebraska. We played beach, and we would go to Hawaii, and we would have like dozens of fans, like just Nebraska fans, and
Amazing.
It's like we are kind of not across the world, but we're pretty far away from Nebraska right now. So
Right.
I don't know. They're everywhere, and it's awesome.
That's fantastic. Allie, thanks so much for doing this. Excited for you guys this year. And it seems like you've really started to settle in as a pro as well. So congratulations on that, and good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
That's Allie Batenhorst from the Omaha Supernovas, who are back at home on Thursday against Grand Rapids and Saturday against Atlanta at 6:00. That, by the way, the number 1 versus number 2 showdown. Merritt Beeson on Atlanta.
That's right.
Making their second trip back to Nebraska. Her and Caleb Anworth as well. And so, yeah, there's some stuff on the line this weekend for the Supernovas. And they're, of course, looking ahead to the Pro Volleyball Championship this year, which will be in Vegas, which is the home of the Lee's Family Forum. Mother's Day weekend, semifinals on May 9th, and the championship match for $1 million. On May 11th. Yeah, that's right, Josh. $1 million.
Hello.
You can take that crown and, we got match for $1 million.
300,000. I was told that was a lot.
Yeah.
$1 million.
It's been
also
cool.
a lot.
And the support is truly amazing. Like, if there's one takeaway, obviously the volleyball is good, but they do it pretty well on the support side of things over there, and the outreach, and it's been one of those things that has just grabbed on, and people have stuck with it. We've been doing a couple Creighton games over at the at the ballpark, and they'll play at 6 or whatever on a Saturday, and there'll be all of a sudden parking lot will be full at like 5 o'clock. I'm like, what time's the game again?
What's going on?
6 o'clock.
That's
6
right.
o'clock. The parking lot's full at 5.
Got to get there early.
Yeah. Load it up, get your autographs and stuff like that. And they're really, really good at all that stuff. So if you have a young kid who is interested, and this would be a fantastic experience for them. So thanks to Allie for joining the show, and excited for them the rest of the way. And let's take a break here. We'll come back, round out the hour on the other side. Still plenty to come on 1620 The Zone.
After further review, the host is deemed to be out of bounds. The Connor Happer Show returns in minutes on 1620 The Zone.
Okay, everyone, what did you think of the chocolate bar?
It's too chewy.
Feels kind of chalky.
Too much nougat.
I need to go brush my teeth.
Business is booming for Steph's small marketing research firm.
After all these focus groups, there's only one conclusion. I need more researchers.
And she's way too busy researching
Does this have peanuts?
to waste time researching resumes.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Put our matching platform to work so you can spend less time searching and more time connecting with talented candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Creighton and Nebraska baseball tonight from Charles Schwab Field. First pitch is at 6 o'clock. Let's call it 6:03. Well, actually, we're on TV tonight.
That's right. Gotta
So
keep it tight.
It actually is kind of specific. Hold on.
So you're saying you probably don't need those pregame breaks in the log.
Well, Unsportsmanlike kind of gets off the air at 6.
Uh-huh.
And we go on the air at 6. Mm-hmm. It is scheduled for 6 o'clock. I'll get you a timing sheet. It's about 6 o'clock. I'd tune in at 6 o'clock.
Okay. So you definitely don't need 2 pregame breaks.
No, there won't be any pregame. Okay. We'll go right into the first pitch.
Right into it. After a very live, unsportsmanlike content.
Incredibly live, the most live. Creighton and Nebraska tonight at Charles Schwab Field at about 6. First and only game between these two at the Chuck this year.
Sad.
So come on down and say hello, and or listen on the radio.
What if they met in the College World Series, Connor?
That is true. I didn't think about that.
You didn't.
Or if Creighton hosted a regional and Nebraska was in that regional, that would be weird.
That would be a trip.
That would be really weird. It'd be possibly even weirder than them being in the College World Series together.
Yeah.
But I don't know. What would we do on the radio if Creighton made the College World Series?
Oh, yeah. I mean,
who would do the Westwood one and who would do Creighton?
Well, John would do Westwood 1, right? And you would do Creighton on ZOT, 1180 The Zone. That's what we call it internally, is ZOT, because its call letters are KZOT.
Thank you, Josh. Behind the scenes there. I don't know. It's not a bridge we've had to cross.
Or would you say, no, I need to be with the people.
I need to be on the national broadcast?
Yeah. In a smaller capacity versus doing play-by-play for Creighton.
I guess I would have a couple questions.
Pay.
That would be the main one. All right. We'll cross that bridge when we get there, if ever. Charles emails in about Creighton and Nebraska baseball.
Hi, Charles.
Hi, guys. Back to your conversation from earlier. I think the lack of buzz around the game tonight has to do with the lack of buzz around both programs. 20 years ago, when Nebraska was winning conference championships in the league and making it to the College World Series, it meant something to Creighton if they beat Nebraska. Now, while it might mean something for the players on the team, if Creighton wins, all they're doing is beating a bottom half Big Ten team. The lack of buzz could also be people realizing that compared to what we see in Omaha in June, Creighton and Nebraska are just bad baseball teams that are inferior to the top teams in college baseball.
Whoa.
That's from Charlie. Okay. So that's one thing I wondered about. When would you say, Josh, this SEC thing really took off?
Oh.
Now, this is really tangential, right? It's on the periphery of Creighton versus Nebraska. But I was curious about it. When do you think this?
When they moved into the new park?
Kind of feels like that's kind of when it started to take over. Maybe within the last. I mean, you could make a case really within the last 5 to 7 years.
Yeah, probably even less than that.
Right?
Yeah.
It's always been really significant in the South, and it's been easier for teams in the South, but like they are pouring money into baseball in the South. And you look at those teams that come up now for those 2 weeks in June in Omaha, and Charlie's right. They don't look anything like our local teams.
6 of the last 7 titles have gone to the SEC. Excuse me.
They do not look like our local teams. And so the reason I got on the attendance thing last night is because I was looking at just the single game attendance figures for college baseball this entire year, and God, if I could ever find it again on this backdoor NCAA website, I would really enjoy that. But it's like even if Nebraska and Creighton were to like randomly draw 10,000 people tonight, which I don't think they will, if they were to draw 10,000 people tonight, that would not be one of the top 25 crowds in college baseball this year.
No.
because they're getting 8, 9, 10,000 every day, every weekend at pretty much every SEC facility.
LSU leads the nation in attendance, averaging 11,188 per game.
Let me see the miscellaneous reports. Attendance single game highs. Got it. All right. So top attended game in college baseball this year, 17,994. This was TCU and Arkansas at the Rangers Stadium at the end of February. So the top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 games. The top 10 attended games in college baseball this year were either at the Rangers ballpark or the Astros ballpark. And then there's a home series this last weekend, or I guess 2 weekends ago, for Mississippi State that got 11,000 every. Well, I guess they had 2 against South Carolina that went over 11,000, and 2 against Texas that went over almost 12,000 as well. All of the rest of them are SEC involved games. There is one Nebraska game on here. 11,000 people on March the 1st in Frisco watched Nebraska play LSU. But I did wonder about that in conjunction with the attendance decline in this game. And there's no doubt Charlie's right about just what these programs were and what they have been and all of those things. We talked about that a little bit earlier. That obviously makes a difference. But there has been an emergence of the SEC, obviously, and it just looks and feels different. And that probably plays a role in how you view the product of what's going on in front of our faces here in Omaha and Lincoln. I think that matters.
What do you care about?
I do think that matters a little bit. Quick phone call from Rick on the hotline. Hi, Rick. Good afternoon.
Oh, thanks, guys. Nice topic. I went to the first Creighton, Nebraska game when they served alcohol at Rosenblatt, I believe, and quite a night there with that. I think the bubbly had a little bit to do with it, but I think the big problem, other than Creighton and Nebraska probably not being in the top 20 material, of course, who knows what could happen at the end of the year. The weather here really has a big contributing factor toward recruiting kids. And I went to a high school game last night, and it was a little chilly. So I think, if Mr. Bowles or the new guy at Creighton, if they're going to recruit kids, they might have to go to Alaska because it is a little chilly here. But that was my take on it. And I think both programs are doing okay, but it's hard to get these so-called studs in here that aren't going, like a Tyson Lewis who went out of the high school. It's just tough to get kids like that to come here when you're basking in the sun down south, and they're probably showering you with money also. So
yeah, thanks for the call.
Really enjoy the show. Thank you.
Okay, appreciate it. So here's the other thing: they don't have to go to Mississippi to get ball players. They're here. They're going to Mississippi.
Yeah.
Right?
There's a lot of them here in the state.
There's a team, and a friend of the show sent this to me a couple weeks ago. Looking at a picture that from a team that several local athletes were on in I guess this is middle school. All right. It's like a Millard elite team. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's 11 kids on this team that I'm looking at. And 5 of them went and played, 6 of them went and played Division I baseball. And
it's a good percentage.
Yeah.
Just my thoughts.
Yeah, thank you. I think that's right.
It needed to be said.
I think that's right. And, there's a bunch of kids out at Millard West and Elkhorn North and South and East and West and Northwest and whatever every year. Going to find a way to keep those guys here. There's no doubt about it. So that's a part of the conversation as well. Okay. So 6:00 tonight. Be there, be square. Me and John Bishop will be making jokes all night long.
With Pat Venditti.
Back after this on 1620 The Zone. Welcome back. 1 o'clock hour, the Connor Happer Show. You're on 1620 The Zone and on 1620thezone.com. We still have many topics that I'd like to get to today, but
I don't think we're going to get to them all.
I don't think we're going to get to them all, but we'll get to the important ones. So
like
you'll know
that Caitlin Clark thing.
Like that Caitlin Clark thing if we have time. But the writers have it in their contract that they have to get some shine and some pub.
Disgusting.
And I said, but writers, we usually do this segment at 12:30, and we're going to have Allie Batenhorst on today, and so sorry, there's no time. And they said, move us to 1. And I said, or you'll do what, writers? And they said, well, I'm gonna kill you. I said,
and at that point, our hands are tied.
I said I had to do it. So they're threatening death upon me, and so we'll have
not a strike.
We have to play MLB reaction overreaction.
That's right.
Otherwise, they'll kill me. So here we go.
What if I just didn't read what they wrote?
They'll kill me.
Would they kill you?
They'll kill me, Josh. Yeah. That's the problem.
I'm under no risk here, right?
No.
Okay.
No.
Interesting.
Do you want my blood on your hands?
I don't, but I would take all of your jobs.
That's true. Yeah, but you would at that point have too many jobs.
Yes. I would get rid of 2 of them. I don't know which 2.
I won't have to care. I'll be dead.
That's right.
All right.
Take number 1. Higher on the panic meter right now. Twins or Braves?
Interesting question.
Mm-hmm.
Josh, you have a vested interest in this topic.
I do.
I think it should be the Twins for the record.
Should as well.
I think it should be the Twins. On top of their common history of being injured all the time, they now stink at everything. They don't have much of a pitching rotation. They don't have much of an offense at this point. They won't be this bad the entire season, I don't think. But if you're asking me like, hey, are these records going to hold between what the Twins are right now and what the Braves are right now? The Twins are 5-12, and the Bravos are 5-11.
That's right.
At the bottom of the NL East. Which will hold? Which team is more likely to have a 300, right about 300 winning percentage this entire year?
Gross.
I'd say it's the Minnesota Twins.
There are 2.
Spencer Strider is striking out everybody for the Gwinnett Stripers right now.
That's right.
He's ready to go. Bring him up.
2 white knights coming to save the Atlanta Braves.
Yep.
Spencer Strider and Ronald Acuna Jr. over the next month. Gotta think that they'll play a little bit better.
I think they're going to be okay.
Yeah.
I think they're going to be okay. I'm not sure they're going to be okay, but I do think the panic meter should be higher for the Minnesota Twins, who actually might stink.
And there's also nobody coming to Minnesota Twins games.
Oh, man.
Last night.
That was a bad picture.
It very well might have been like 12 degrees in Minneapolis last night.
It's cold.
So I get it, but...
But Josh, I just got done telling people, what did I tell the story about Target Field yesterday?
Mm-hmm.
I love Target Field.
You do.
It's a great place to watch a ball game, and the people are so incredibly nice, and the Twins are usually competitive. But the Twins are competitive. Empty. You know what that looked like, Josh?
Big Ten tournament?
That's exactly right. They used to host the Big Ten tournament at that ballpark. Oh. I went to one of those events. It was the year that Tanner Lubach hit the home run into the corner against Illinois or Indiana or something like that, whatever it was. And they forced a championship, winner take all game lost. I was at that. That must have been 13 or 14 or something like that. It was cool because I was at an MLB stadium with 4 people.
A lot of opportunities to catch a ball.
It wasn't about catching a ball. It was just this is so wild. This is a really important game, and there's 9 people here. But I wouldn't recommend it. It felt like that probably in Minnesota last year. Anyway, next.
Take number 2, projections totally missed on the Angels, who will have a long summer of playoff contention.
Are we ready to admit that we undersold the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, whose record is 9-6? They sit at the top of the American League West as it stands. Josh, I know you know about Mike Trout, who's hitting that thing right now.
He is hitting that thing.
Leading Major League Baseball in home runs. Now, people obviously undersold Trout this year because of his history of injury over the last couple of years. And there is still, it's been 15 games, Josh. His body could fall apart and explode at any moment.
I expect it to.
Oh, wow. Sad. It could happen. But, so that's just one of the pieces of the equation. What people did not see coming is all of the other things that have happened for the Angels. They have had projected mildly productive players, and they've had a long run of mildly productive players over the years, some less than others. Shout out to Anthony Rendon, who did nothing in his entire career with the Angels. Nothing of note. Who was supposed to be a massively productive player. Let me introduce you to a couple of newbies on the block who are actually pretty good. Kyron Paris, if there was a rookie of the year 15 games into the season, he'd be it. Remember the name, Kyron Paris. Nolan Shanuel. He's hitting a little bit. Logan Ohapi, Josh. You heard of Logan Ohapi?
I have not.
Taylor Ward. You heard of Taylor Ward?
No.
All them boys are doing stuff right now. Those are mildly productive players. Maybe more than mildly productive players. Paris has been really good so far this year. So if that can hold, and you could surround a peak Mike Trout, if you continue to get peak Mike Trout, with
Tim Anderson,
more than mildly productive baseball players.
Tim Anderson.
That is a formula. Tim Anderson not included in this conversation.
Oh, okay.
Not included. But he's doing fine.
Ron Washington coaching him up?
What do you think about playing first base, Wash? It's incredibly hard. Yeah, I think the Angels. So the question was, will they have a long summer of playoff contention?
No.
You're being too dismissive. You're being too dismissive, Josh.
They play the Rangers, Mariners, and Astros all the time.
There might be some legs to this. There might be some legs to this. Long summer of playoff contention is strong. It's strong. I'm not there yet, as Mike Farron would say, and is going to say, I'm sure, this afternoon. It's too early to tell. But don't be that dismissive. That's all. Don't be that dismissive. Stop being so dismissive, Josh.
Okay.
You're being dismissive.
They lost their first series last time they played a game. That's interesting.
Okay.
Take number 3.
What is that?
The Royals are another couple of weeks of not having any offense away from fast-tracking Jack Caglione.
All right, so I have to pull myself out of this. I have to
remove your biases.
I have to remove my biases. That's what you're asking?
That's right.
They don't score very many runs, that team, Josh.
53 on the year.
And they've played, what, 15 games?
That's right.
They're what, 8-9?
No.
They're 8-9?
They've played 17
games. You do the math on that one for me?
I can't. I can tell you it's the third fewest in the American League.
Okay. I'll tell you how many runs per game it is. 53 divided by 17. It's just over 3, Josh.
That doesn't feel like enough.
No, that's correct. Now, the Royals have a good starting rotation. Not a good starting rotation. A good starting rotation. And they have, I would argue, a great bullpen. Maybe the best in baseball. Sans Sam Long, who should be ejected into the sun like Katy Perry on that rocket ship. She came back. Sam Long shouldn't.
Okay.
All right.
Important.
I know he's on the. He got injured, and that's okay. All right. So you never wish ill health on people, but he needed a couple weeks off. All right. Jack Caglione, meanwhile, for the AA Northwest Arkansas Naturals, is hitting baseballs at record speeds. He is literally hitting balls harder than man has ever hit balls before. Now he's in AA. The Royals have a long-standing history and tradition of not being aggressive with their minor leaguers, but they understand that they are in a playoff contention window at the moment. And it's time to go. I don't think we'll even possibly see Cags in Kansas City by like the All-Star break. I think after that, it's open for interpretation. It's open for question, which then brings up a sub-question that is impactful to us. When could we possibly see him here in Omaha? And usually that just takes opportunity. Are you going to squeeze some at-bats for, like, once you see Cags not playing first base anymore in Double-A, that should perk up your eyebrows. That should be like, interesting. Because Nick Prado is playing first base in Omaha, and Vinny Pasquantino is playing first base in Kansas City.
Okay, so there's no path.
That's not really changing anytime soon. But there is room for guys who hit dongs who play outfield.
That's right.
In Kansas City and in Omaha, for that matter. So if you see him start to move around a little bit and play about other positions and DH and things like that, the countdown to Omaha will be on.
What a insightful note you've given.
Thank you. I'm an insightful man.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
I know things.
Take number 4. We now have 3 $500 million contracts in Major League Baseball.
Thank you, writers, for that information.
Soto, Ohtani, Vladdy.
It's amazing that Vladdy is one of those people.
Feels like he did not give them a hometown discount.
No.
Who is next?
So I was thinking about this last night. I brought up one of my favorite websites to use, Spotrac.
Oh, good website.
I love Spotrac. And I pulled up the MLB contracts that people are under right now, and the writers are correct. There's only 3 people that have $500+ million contracts, and 2 of them are $700 million contracts. And Vladimir Guerrero Jr., who got to 500, like right on the nose, which seemed a little. There had to be a reason for that.
I need that number.
Yeah, sort of interesting, right? So I was pulling up guys kind of by age and when they got their next contracts and when they're due up for free agency next. And there's no obvious answer here. Gunnar Henderson won't be a free agent until 29. Ellie De La Cruz won't be a free agent until 29. Obviously, both can sign deals before that to avoid free agency. The top contender for the next $500 million man, had he not signed a contract last offseason, would have been our sweet, sweet baby child boy, Bobby Witt Jr.
That's
not
right.
tiny baby Billy. That is Bobby Witt Jr. He would have, in this environment, certainly got a $500 million contract. And I would have probably been sweating for the rest of my life just thinking about the Royals giving $500 million to a person. Instead, he signed for $288 million over 11 years, which, in my opinion, is dope as hell. I love that. That was awesome. Now, the Royals paying anybody $288 million is pretty extreme. $26 million a year for one baseball players. We're the Royals. We can't do that.
That's right.
But, Josh, there's going to be people making a lot more money than that.
If the Cubs don't lock up Kyle Tucker.
That was a name that got thrown around. I mean,
he's always the one that the MLB honks.
$500 million?
I guess I don't quite see it myself. But.
I don't know that I do either. I got one for you, Josh. We haven't thought about this person in a while because he is rehabbing and he is on his way back. Your sweet baby boy, Ronald Acuna.
Oh. Braves don't sign those deals. They somehow tricked and drug their players into signing for pennies on the dollar. Hey, you like it in America, right?
Dude.
You don't want to go back, right? Sign this contract for $12.
They do that. It's amazing.
I don't know how they do it.
So he has a club option coming up in a couple years. Basically, he has this season on his contract, next season, and then some options kick in. You could buy those out, right? He is 27 years old.
2 blown knees.
2 blown knees. That is something the club will hold against him. 2 blown knees, 27 years old. I wonder, like, if the idea is this guy's still destined for superstardom and he's just going into his prime now, or if it's viewed a little bit differently.
He has said, I probably you will see me steal fewer bases. Wow. Probably not a part of my game as much.
Quitter.
Anymore.
Quitter.
Well, seems like it.
Mike Trout makes $35 million a year over his $426 million deal. Mookie Betts, Aaron Judge, Manny Machado, like all these guys are signed. So
yeah, they're locked up for a little bit, right?
So Soto's signed through 2039, Ohtani through 2033, Vladdy through 2039, Trout through 2030, Mookie through 2032, Judge through 2031, Machado through 2033. I mean, every top contract in baseball won't expire for another couple of years. Not that you have to do it, after it expires. Giancarlo Stanton, it's not Giancarlo's fault, by the way.
Carlo's fault.
Thank you, Bob. He got a $325 million deal back in 2015 that will be expiring at the end of the 2027 season.
I mean,
at which point he will be 36. Gosh, what is Giancarlo now?
He's broken, is what he is.
Oh no, he's 35 now, so he'll be dead. But
all right,
not literally. He'll be 37, 38 years old. So I don't know. I don't know who our next $500 million man is. That's how I'll answer that question. Let's go to the baseball savant corner, Josh.
Ooh, it's a cozy corner.
Baseball savant corner this week. We'll keep it pretty simple. The hardest hit baseball this season. The single hardest hit baseball this season. I should have grabbed the video.
You keep telling me it's Jack Caglione.
In Major League Baseball.
Oh, real baseball.
Belongs to Big Christmas of the Cleveland Guardians, Jhonkensy Noel.
What a great nickname.
He hit a baseball 117.2 miles per hour this season. I apologize for not having the video, but congratulations to Baseball Savant Corner this week and Jhonkensy Noel for having hit the baseball the hardest out of any person who's not in AA.
An important.
It's hardest hit baseball, non-CAGS division.
Yeah.
That's where we're giving the award to.
A big division.
That is baseball MLB reaction overreaction. By the way, O-Trips writes in.
Hi, O-Trips.
I'm scared for Skeens. He's going to get $600 million. Mr. Skeens.
Somebody's going to write that guy a check, and it's not going to be the Pittsburgh Pirates. But I think you know that, O-Trips.
Yeah. Yeah, there is that possibility. Tarek Skubal, is he a free agent coming up soon? Would you give a pitcher $500 million?
I don't think I would.
In the day and age of Thomas John?
I've never heard it called it that.
I've never heard it called that either.
No, I don't think I would. That doesn't mean somebody who feels they're a Tarek away. I hate it, by the way.
Yeah, you just want to go back to calling him Tariq.
Call him Tariq.
All right.
Let's change that K to a Q.
We'll be back after this on 1620 The Zone. All right, welcome back. Chris writes in.
Hi, Chris.
Whole question. Does it sound better to have Tommy John surgery or Thomas John surgery? Which would you rather have?
Tommy John sounds like a children's problem. Thomas John sounds like you got some real bleep going on.
It does sound worse to have Thomas John. Like, if you just introduced Thomas John surgery right now, I'd be like, oh no.
Oh no.
Is his elbow intact? Is his forearm hanging on his body? Is it okay?
What can I do?
You could get Thomas John, but it's very risky.
I don't know, Doc.
It's very risky. It's never been done before.
Like, it sounds like somebody of Sandy Koufax's era would have Thomas John surgery.
Thomas John.
And Spencer Strider had Tommy John surgery.
Many Tommy Johns. All right. What's up with all the Tommy Johns and you got Tommy Johns and you got ACLs like recurring.
And UCLs. What's a UCL?
Well, that's Tommy John.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. We got so last week or maybe a couple weeks ago, we talked about what gets FOIA'd and what is good to get FOIA'd. The responsibility that people have that when things get open records requested. Here, in my opinion, is an open records request worth doing. From The Athletic. How involved is Bill Belichick's girlfriend at North Carolina? How emails show a glimpse inside her role. I clicked. It was a fast one.
Would Connor Happer click that link?
I wanted to see what was going on. There's been a lot of questions about this. I've heard that she's very involved. And
well, Bill said send all my emails to her,
and that
she handles the schedule.
That has been happening,
which brings her into the okay, we can FOIA her
correct
realm.
She has been I would say moderately involved. She involved herself in one specific issue, it appears. As I read from the story, before the Tar Heels announced they were hiring Bill Belichick's son, Steve, for the same job he held at the University of Washington, Hudson, Bill Belichick's girlfriend, her name is Jordan Hudson.
Oh, okay.
Wrote to the school's media team to, quote, raise awareness regarding a sometimes subtle, sometimes obvious, frequently occurring detail within media releases and social media posts. Though Steve is, in fact, Bill's son, he should be depicted and represented as his own established, credible entity, as opposed to an extension of Bill. This is what she emailed the social media staff.
Okay, yeah. Why would he not be? Okay.
She's just saying, don't put it on the internet that they're related. That's what she's literally said. Don't.
Sure.
It could be easily misinterpreted that Steve is simply benefiting from nepotism, but that is not the case, according to Hudson. Steve was fortunate to have learned defensive football strategy from the greatest defensive mind of all time, who just so happens to be his dad. He has earned the position, though, due to his performance and output. Hudson said the school shouldn't use images of Steve and Bill Belichick to prevent visual prompts that could fuel accusations of nepotism. She also suggested that the Tar Heels avoid referring to Steve as Bill's son and instead highlight his own accomplishments. So she was heavily involved in this. She had a very strong opinion on this. I wonder who shared that opinion. Maybe Bill. Who knows? Later that evening, as these emails were being exchanged, Tar Heels administrator in charge of marketing, athletic communications, and creative services responded. Robbie Pickerel Evans, North Carolina's senior associate athletic director for external affairs and strategic communication, wrote that the Tar Heels hadn't yet posted anything about Belichick's hire, Steve's hire, but they would certainly promote him as his own entity when they do. The emails do not reference Belichick's youngest son, Brian, the Tar Heels' newly hired defensive back and safeties coach. He also spent 9 years with the Patriots. So she was very, very involved in this. Please don't put it on the internet that Steve is Bill's son. That is one of the requests. There is a couple other things in here. Most of the emails that Hudson was copied on are mundane. General Manager Michael Lombardi asked about compiling a reel of great things. Former NFL quarterback Tom Brady, former tight end Rob Gronkowski, and others have said about Belichick that the Tar Heels could show recruits. North Carolina also discussed interview requests from 60 Minutes, Good Morning America, and Charles Barkley's podcast.
Belichick, you don't see a lot of clips of that podcast aggregated, which kind of surprises me.
Belichick wrote back in a response in an email, "Sorry, I will not be available to talk with Sir Charles. Let's find another time!" Exclamation point, exclamation point.
Wow.
Hudson's involvement was minimal, with one exception also focused on social media. Quote from Hudson, she asked on February 13th, "Is there anyone monitoring the UNC football page for slanderous commentary and subsequently deleting it / blocking users that are harassing BB in the comments?" BB meaning Bill Belichick or Boo Boo. I guess it could be in this case.
Depends on who you are within the North Carolina Tar Heel family.
I cannot believe that UNC would support my being called. So on Valentine's Day, Belichick followed up on this, where Hudson was concerned about the comments on the UNC social media accounts. He responded with this: "I cannot believe that North Carolina would support my being called a predator," he wrote. Basically, someone wrote that he was a predator in the comments because of his very young girlfriend, and he was like, yeah, you know what? That's not good. Why would UNC support that? They're not deleting the comments. That's basically what's happening here.
Oh, so he's an idiot.
Yeah.
And doesn't know how the internet works.
That's right.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Hudson does not appear to have a professional involvement with Belichick. An email signature identifies her as the chief operating officer of Belichick Productions. The Athletic could not find a registered business record of Belichick Productions. Basically, Belichick Productions doesn't exist. On April 3rd, Belichick signed a document with the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office consenting to applications for 14 phrases, including Chapel Bill, Bill's version, the Bellustrator, and the Belichick way. But the company seeking the trademarks was TCE Rights Management, which recently formed a Massachusetts company that lists Hudson as its manager. That is the professional relationship that the two seem to have. But she has been copied on many, many emails. And it doesn't actually seem like there's anything weird going on outside of her asking a bunch of questions of saying, please don't talk about my boyfriend this way.
Yeah, I was disappointed isn't the right word for the results of this FOIA request.
Yeah.
But
she clearly has a role here.
Yeah.
Something is happening.
She's like, hey, you don't want the reporters calling him your son. You want them calling him Steven or whatever the hell his name.
The crazy looking guy with the mullet.
Homeless. Unhoused. Sorry.
Aaron writes in.
Hi, Aaron.
Okay, she's correct about making him his own person, but she's very wrong about the Nepo part of the equation. That's nepotism 101, and you could put it on the internet that I said that. Yes, Steve Belichick is absolutely being hired due to nepotism.
He took a lateral move. Some might call it a demotion because the Big Ten is superior to the ACC. We all know that.
So that's what's going on with Bill Belichick's girlfriend.
BB.
Today. BB. Baby boo. whatever you're feeling at the time. I have this from On3.
Hello, On3.
Tulane is pulling out of the recruitment of Tennessee transfer quarterback Nico Iamaleava.
What?
That's right. Tulane has bowed out. This guy
Too rich for our blood.
This guy is going to play himself into not being a quarterback.
No, he's going to go to USC.
But He wants to be paid X amount of $1 million. And now everyone around the country has been emboldened to say, I don't want to pay you X amount of $1 million.
That's correct.
You're going to take my $1 million or my 750. You know what? Make it 500 grand now. You're going to take my 500 grand and be our starting quarterback, or you're not coming because we're good with what we have right now. This is a horrible, you way overplayed your hand.
Yeah.
Way overplayed your hand.
You had the leverage and you used it, which is a gamble, and you crapped out.
Yeah.
You no longer have the leverage.
So what do you do now?
Someone's going to pay you 3.5 and you're going to have to go,
no, man.
Well, fine.
No, I don't think somebody's going to pay you 3.5. I don't think somebody's going to pay you 3.5.
I think USC is a bunch of idiots and will pay it.
I think why don't they just pay their Jaden Mayava whatever they're paying him right now and be cool with it?
Because that inside USC guy is like, that guy sucks.
he kind of does. I don't really think that he's very good. He hates Lincoln Riley.
That's true.
The inside USC guy hates Lincoln Riley. We should talk to that guy if they get Nico.
Yes, I was just about to say that. Let's write a note down somewhere.
Put that on the list somewhere, Josh. We got to talk to that guy.
I logged out of my email.
Wow, you're already packing up, Josh?
That's right, Connor.
Getting ready for the school day to end already?
Well, I have to immediately go over to Coyle. So
that's true. I think this dude is about to take like a significant pay cut. He had a $2.5 million contract, wanted $4 million, and then played himself out of the $2.5 million only to get $1 million from a school he doesn't want to be at. This is amazing. I hope nobody gives him a contract.
I'm just saying
this is going to be awesome.
It's not cash money, but Iowa Western provides a world-class education and lots of opportunity.
Good idea. What about NIL?
We'll get your name out there. Don't worry.
You got a couple G's? You get the
It's not about the money.
Okay.
It's about the experience.
One more story before we get out of here. Dogs, Josh.
Dogs, yes.
I was reading motherjones.com today.
As you do.
Motherjones.com. Headline: Bad news for man's best friend. Dogs are environmental villains.
What's that now?
Dogs are environmental villains.
Villains.
Dogs have extensive and multifarious environmental impacts, disturbing wildlife, polluting waterways, and contributing to carbon emissions, new research has found. An Australian review of existing studies has argued that the environmental impact of owned dogs is far greater, more insidious, and more concerning than is generally recognized. That's right. Dogs are ruining Earth, Josh.
Wow.
While the environmental impact of cats is well known, the comparative effect of pet dogs has been poorly acknowledged, researchers said. The review, published in the Pacific Conservation Biology Journal, highlighted the impact of the world's commonest large carnivore in killing and disturbing native wildlife, particularly shorebirds. They kill the shorebirds, and that's why they're killing our planet. And the little penguins. In Australia, attacks by unrestrained dogs on little penguins in Tasmania may contribute to colony collapse, modeling suggests. While a study of animals taken to the Australia Zoo Wildlife Hospital found that mortality was the highest after dog attacks, which was the second most common reason for admission after car strikes. So, Josh, how will you answer to the fact that these dogs are environmental terrorists, basically?
I mean,
you have the proof in front of you. What will you say?
Look at that face and tell me you're putting dogs on a rocket ship to the sun.
I'd say get them all out of here.
Never to return.
Get them all out of here.
I mean, all the good boys and good girls.
Somebody suggested that, quote, a lot of what we're talking about can be ameliorated by owners' behavior. See, these are smart words, Josh. That's how you know this is real. Maybe in some parts of the world, we actually need to consider some slightly more robust laws. He suggested that dog exclusion zones might be more suitable in some areas. Bateman also raised sustainable dog food as an option to reduce a pet's environmental paw print. Get it? Environmental paw print. Noting, however, that more sustainable dog food tends to cost more than the cheap dog food that we buy, which has a higher carbon footprint. Quote, if nothing else, pick up your own dog bleep, he said.
Oh, you got to do that.
No, he's requesting that the dogs pick up your own dog crap.
What?
No, I thought it'd be funny if it was,
It
though.
would. What a quack.
Bill Brasky writes in, not house pets, buddy. So what are you talking about? Just, these are free dogs? Strays?
Strays?
I don't think so.
No.
These are just dogs. We're talking about dogs.
Domesticated dogs.
Yep. Mike writes in, what the hell was that word? I don't know. But this article had a take that I agree with, so I read it blindly.
Tune in tomorrow for the Mother Jones article of the day.
That's right. We have them every day on this show. I think Mother Jones just really enjoys cats, from what it seems like.
What a great spin.
It's a classic cats versus dogs situation.
Mother Jones, Smart, Fearless Journalism. It's a nonprofit American left-wing magazine that focuses on news, commentary.
I love the left wing, Josh.
And investigative journalism on topics including politics, environment, human rights, health, and culture. Clara Jeffrey serves as editor-in-chief of the magazine.
Yeah, she loves cats. 100%.
This has been rolling since February of 1976.
She loves cats.
Yeah.
All right, we're back after this with the polls. We'll tell you what to watch on 1620 The Zone. To the polls at Happer Show on the J-Tech Construction Zone Twitter feed. First one we asked today, donut holes. Yes or no? Absolutely. Donut holes. 88% agree. Donut holes.
Wouldn't be my first choice, but
Your first choice would be no on donut holes?
My first choice would be donuts.
Yeah, sure. But what do you think about donut holes? Yes or no?
They're okay.
Would you vote yes or no, Josh?
Yes.
Okay. Thank God. What do we love more? Love or culture wars?
I love more.
No, what do we love more?
We
love culture wars more.
Yeah, I guess we do.
62% agree it's culture wars. Does Nick know oil? Nick Grimm.
Yeah.
Does he know oil?
Yeah.
Sure, I'll give him that. 73% say no.
Oh, no.
Here we have a picture of me wearing earbuds as earbuds in Las Vegas on a rooftop. That's good. And finally, which sounds worse, Tommy John surgery or Thomas John surgery?
I mean, Thomas John sounds like you're on death's door. So, yeah.
I agree. 77% say it is Thomas John surgery.
Of course.
It does sound horrible. We got a response to that from Jace.
Hi, Jace.
Who says, you post the stupidest bleep. And I can't argue.
Yeah.
We do. We do.
We just read that Mother Jones article. That was pretty smart.
All right. Those are the polls, Josh. What are we watching tonight?
We're, of course, watching the NBA play-in tournament.
No.
Well, that's what's on tonight.
FS1. Josh, tell them what's on FS1 tonight.
NCAA baseball between Nebraska and Creighton.
That's right.
FS1. Or you could listen to it on 1620 The Zone. It's a superior broadcast. It'll have Pat Vendetti. I guarantee you the television broadcast won't also have Pat Vendetti.
Oh, I don't know if you could guarantee that. You know, sometimes the TV people are like, whoa.
Who do you got? I want that too.
Yeah, right. All right. What else is on?
It's Kugler. Is Kugler doing
No,
this
it's
game?
not Kugler.
It's not?
It's not.
Is it Connor Onion?
No.
Who is doing the game on television?
It's, well, Rob Sims is one of them. And then I don't know the other guy. Brian or something.
Okay.
Let's see.
Not somebody regularly in our orbit?
No.
Okay.
Nope.
Put DC
David
on that
David
thing.
Brown.
David Brown? I don't know.
David Brown.
It's too generic a name. What am I
David
supposed to do
Brown.
with that? Anyway, the NBA play-in tournament tonight, the 7 versus 8 matchups. We all know how the bracket works. You don't need me to tell you that the winner of these games tonight is in the playoff and faces the number 2 seed in each respective conference.
Totally
you
knew
already
that.
knew that, of course.
Totally knew it.
Hawks Magic at 6:30 on TNT. The winner, of course, faces the Boston Celtics in the first round of the playoffs. Grizzlies Warriors at 9 o'clock. Lots of grenades. The winner of that series will face, of course, the Houston Rockets. Major League Baseball, game of the week on TBS. Guardians Orioles. Cubs Padres is your free game of the day on MLB TV. That's a pretty good one. And Rockies Dodgers on MLB Network at 9 o'clock. Hockey doubleheader on ESPN. The battle for the Sunshine State? Florida? What's Florida? Oranges? Orange Grove?
California. Beautiful.
Panthers Lightning at 6:30, followed by Kings Kraken at 9:30. The season finale of Daredevil Born Again is on Disney Plus. And Connor, I know you're busy at the ball game tonight, but maybe set your DVR. Ace Ventura and Ace Ventura When Nature Calls
out
back to back on VH1 tonight.
I'm in for the former and not the latter.
Okay. Well, you're going to miss the former. Have to be a very quick game.
Yeah. I'm not going to record it on TV, but I like Ace Ventura.
It's a good movie.
Josh, thanks.
Thank you, Connor.
That's what we're watching tonight. That's the show. If you miss anything, 1620thezone.com is where you can find it. The crossover is coming up next.